Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This has taken a while, okay? This is probably the video that's taken me the longest to make in Netflix channel history, and yeah, it's a long time coming. Welcome back, guys, to the Season 5 Young Sheldon Retrospective, okay? Yeah, it's finally here, okay? It's been like 3 weeks since I've done the Season 4 Retrospective, I think? Now, I plan to have this episode out a little bit before the season 6 premiere, but unfortunately, 2 episodes of that show has already came. Season 6, two episodes of the season has already come out. Unfortunately, well, hopefully it's just 2, to be honest, because I mean I haven't completely finished the video yet. But I'm presuming it's just 2. Okay, I really hope to just do a few more finishing touches to the video, and then it'll be finally finished. But whatever, here we go. Without further ado, here is my Young Sheldon Season 5 retrospective. Loads going on this season. I'm not going to delay it any further because this is a big video. Probably the longest in Alpha Channel history as well, okay? Let's get to it. So we pick up right where we left off in the last season, okay? Sheldon and Missy are still in this hut here, so that's great. And I'm pretty sure last time I said I was going to talk about the hut or the shed. So basically, Georgie comes and finds them here. Okay. And then he says to Mimo that he knows where they went, so it's kind of cool. I think this is probably where Georgie went. This is most likely where Georgie went when he was trying to have trouble at home as well, and maybe he told Missy to come here sometimes, and I think that's actually pretty cool, okay? Yeah. The way to this season to differentiate yourself from the last season, though, we're doing basically the exact same thing. Yeah. Whatever. I did like the scene here where Mary's going through the house and looking here for everyone, and everyone's just gone. I thought that was actually kind of funny. Okay, I don't know why Georgie went back to work. That didn't make any sense whatsoever. Well, okay, well, wait, why did I say that? It does actually kind of make sense with the context that you're seeing on screen right here. But whatever. And since basically in season 4, episode 5, we saw that Georgie and Jenna were getting a pregnancy test, we can presume that they were doing the thing. And you might say, what about Georgie's learned since then? No. You haven't seen the end of the season then. I think it's pretty funny where Georgie came in and just scared them. She's just like, yeah. Then Sean just kicked the bloody lamp, which was fucking weird. I did think this episode was a bit strange in that part, but whatever. Let's actually get to some more interesting parts that will actually impact the series instead of talking about the blue shed. Okay, yeah, so we gotta address the big elephant in the room. His name is Michael, guys. He's a pretty good pet. I feed him peanuts, but whatever. Also, the big elephant in the show. Well, there is none, but the big plot point here is George and Brenda and their relationship. I did actually kind of like how they were kind of talking and they actually kind of made each other feel, happy. That was pretty fun to see them bond. Okay. So as I was saying, before I got rudely interrupted, things go a little bit too far, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. This is kind of what builds George and Brenda's relationship with the rest of the season, okay? And it's interesting to me, like, what if George didn't have a heart attack, okay? And what if he actually did go back with Brenda, I am presuming he got the heart attack over the thing, maybe, over Brenda inviting him, or maybe he just had too much to drink, who knows? But yeah. It was actually interesting to learn more about Brenda and George. Okay, Brenda was a cheerleader. Wouldn't have really guessed that. Yeah, so Brenda has to rush George to the hospital. It would be nice to get a scene in the car with them, but I guess this episode is loaded with scenes enough. It almost feels like this episode should be longer, because it honestly feels like it's a bit weird. Like, we never see George come home and the gang, like the children, and we shouldn't like see him again after he got a heart attack, which I thought would be cool. It was actually missing from the first episode where George had a heart attack back in season 1, episode 3. Okay, but I did like the scene that George had with Missy that I'll talk about later. And a big thing with this episode that I thought was actually really funny was all the awkward scenes with George and Brenda and him with George and Mary and stuff. I thought it was pretty funny where when George came in, Mary made George come into the room, that his hospital bed, and his heart rate just went up. Wow. And when Sheldon reminded George of Brenda in that scene, and when, God's sake, and when Missy reminded George of his interactions with Brenda, I thought it's just crazy. But yeah, I think they probably should have talked about what happened the other night and stuff instead of George just brushing it off that as nothing happened. They probably should have talked a bit about that. And yeah, you can see this episode is setting up a lot for the season. And yeah, this is just the beginning of season 5. Yeah, that's pretty surprising, am I right? The scenes that Missy and George had was actually just amazing. Okay, Missy thinking that she gave George the heart attack and all that. It was really nice. Okay, in recent times in Young Sheldon, I think George and Missy have one of the strongest bonds. So it was really really nice to see it here. Okay, but it got interrupted with Brenda potentially coming over for dinner, and yeah. Man, part of me is a bit disappointed that we didn't get to see Brenda come over for dinner because I would just love to see that, man. Okay, hopefully that happen in the future because I feel like that'd be just so awkward with Brenda there. Oh man, it's kind of disappointing that we didn't get to see that, but I guess that again the episode doesn't have enough time because it has to be like 19 or 20 minutes. Oh, this episode definitely deserves to be like double the length in my opinion. Because seriously, it has a lot to go through, and I feel like it would be even better if it was longer. There's probably a bunch of deleted scenes from this episode they had to cut out. I would like to see them, but I don't think we really get those kind of things for TV shows, do we? Unfortunately. And Brenda pretends to be conveniently sick. But we all know she's just lying, okay? But the relief on George's face when he did learn that is actually kind of just amazing. Wherever he comes over and brings over Brenda her dinner, and they have another heart-to-heart scene, and again, yeah. Yeah. Gonna say it again, guys. I love this I love this interaction. Okay, love all the Brenna and George interactions that they have in this season. Wow. But to every episode, there must be a downside, and yeah, this is sort of a running theme in this show. Sheldon. I mean, no, not the running theme in this season. Sheldon's plot in this episode was definitely the weakest part about the episode. Okay, I'm not gonna say it was terrible. It was just fine. Like, there's nothing really interesting about it, especially because we're getting other things in this episode that were just great. Okay, there's gonna be a lot more uninteresting Sheldon plots mixed in with some great plots from other characters in this season. But here's the first one. Sheldon's having trouble with this moral quandary. Yeah, I mean he got into a lot of bad stuff during the other night, and he's kind of confused by neither of them got in trouble. But of course, it's because that George had that heart attack and everything, and everyone was fighting, and they just would have put the night behind them. Sheldon, calm down, bro. Now I know this is young Sheldon, and they kind of do want to put some Sheldon in here just because he still is the main character and all that. But seriously, there's a few other scenes that I really think should have been in the episode, and they should have cut out this whole Sheldon arc entirely. Okay. The other scenes that I mentioned, come on, man, cut out the Sheldon arc. We don't need it. Oh god, I did actually kind of like the scene with Sheldon and Mima though. Kind of did remind me of Sheldon always going over to Penny's apartment, and of course he says that Mima's a very bad person and stuff, and she's kind of a whore and sleeps with a lot of people, which it's exactly what would happen if Sheldon was talking to Penny. It was really nice. Okay, this was intentional, right? That was also really nice. I already had a reference to the Big Bang Theory. Okay, that was really nice. Of course, it wasn't intentional. Okay, they put it in there. And he also talks to Dr. Sturgis. Yep, he's still working at the grocery store. But the ending was actually pretty nice. Okay, everyone learning to move on from the situation. Mary is praying. Sheldon is watching the good old Star Trek, and Missy is burning her Missy and what was the boy's name? Marcus. She was burning the Missy and Marcus Forever notebook. Yeah, okay. I did like how Missy told Mary she was moving on, and Mary's just like, from what? Mary had no clue that the relationship was going on. Like, I like how it wasn't completely brought to attention until the relationship was over. She had no clue what was going on. No one tells Mary about anything. I thought that was actually pretty funny. So yeah, that was a pretty good episode. It took me 8 minutes to talk about it. Jesus Christ, guys. We're taking longer and longer to talk about these episodes, aren't we? It was pretty good. It was a really good opening to the season. Not quite as good as Season 4, Episode 18, because it did have a bit of slow parts to it, especially Sheldon's plot. I did think this is a pretty funny episode, along with a pretty good start to the season. It sets up everything for the season to come. Okay, I think it was actually pretty great. I loved watching this for the first time. There's so much dynamic scenes, and it's great. Let's move on to the rest of the season. So, season 5, episode 2, Pastor Jeff needs a youth pastor because he's kind of sick of doing all this stuff for himself. You know, he's a wife, he's a kid, he's a church to run. Okay, he can't be doing the bloody Sunday school. So I did like the scene where they were trying to get all the pastors to, I don't know, join the Rebel Alliance. No, that was a joke. This isn't the Rebel Alliance. This is fucking religion. Now, I know it's supposed to be cringy and terrible, but I literally feel like I was gonna die in like the 10 seconds where we saw Mary at the church doing the bloody sock puppets. What was she doing? What kind of childhood did Missy and Sheldon have? Did Mary do this all the time? I did actually kind of like Peg in this episode, which is kind of weird. I thought she was kind of funny in a few scenes. It's kind of weird for me to say because mostly she's just coughing in all the other episodes. But I feel like from this episode onwards, she kind of becomes a little bit more of a character, you know. Whatever. It's nice to see all these pastors and stuff, and see Pastor Rob's first appearance. Now, in season 5, episode 6, we know that both Mary and Missy have a kind of a crush on him, but I didn't really get that impression when he first showed up. Like, they didn't really hint to it or anything, which was kind of weird. They maybe should have hinted to it, but I never got the feeling they did. I got more of the feeling that Mary hated Pastor Rob, whatever. But you know what? If you hate someone, you don't actually hate someone. You're in love with them. That's what season 4, episode 16 has to say. I do think that Pastor Rob's actually opinions and Christianity and religion is actually kind of cool. He has some nice opinions. Okay, well, I'm not going to talk about religion, but he has some, like, you know, like, you can't just like, okay, what? Like, there wouldn't be any faith if you could just tell if God was real. I kind of like that, okay? I kind of like that speech. It kind of, like, really makes sense, and I've never actually thought about that before. Again, I'm not going to talk about religion, because that's just a wormhole that I did not want to get into. Yeah, another reason for Mary to not like him, though, he throws the Bible onto the ground. Like what? He vandalizes the Bible? Though his opinion on Judas was kind of strange. He was his favorite disciple. Whatever, but you gotta forgive the man. He only betrayed Jesus and literally ended up killing him, but whatever. It's like saying that Hitler wasn't that bad because I actually can't think of a reason for that, to be honest. Let's just move on, okay, guys? Hitler's a bad person, okay? Also, Missy kind of has her own subplot in this episode, which is kind of connected to the Pastor Rob one, where she's kind of doubting Christianity, and then Pastor Rob kind of hooks her back in again. I guess it was cool. Definitely the least interesting, though. I wasn't totally hooked in with this plot. Okay, it wasn't that interesting, but yeah, I mean, a lot of bad things do happen in the Bible and all that. So it kind of makes sense why Missy was kind of questioning these few things. Whatever. Now let's get on to the next plot. You all know what that is. Well, maybe not all, but most of you, if you know the plot description. So, season 5 continues the George and Brenda plotline immediately. Okay, and we bring Mima into line, of course. Now, she is, of course, on Team Mary, because Mary is her daughter, and Mary's not really that fond of George. We've seen that explored before in season 1, episode 7, and during season 3 and stuff, and there's a lot of that. But it comes back here, and yeah. Mima talks to Brenda in the grocery store, and yeah, Brenda's acting pretty suspicious. And then after talking with George, she thinks something is up. She goes snooping around and stuff, and this is pretty interesting. Okay, and that's the mom freaking out. For some reason, I have a cup of coffee, the coffee coop there. Not coffee coop. What am I talking about? Coffee coop. In the chicken hut, the hut that shed all the chickens in. Man. I don't know why though. I thought they were supposed to be avoiding each other. I mean, George does try to avoid Brenda as much as possible in the next episode. And then when Billy comes out, George has to try to hide. It's kind of like the episode where George and Herschel were when they're talking in the chicken shed, and then Brenda came out to try to find Herschel. Kind of just remind me of that. So that was cool. Okay. Yeah. So Mima knows something is up, okay, and she doesn't actually end up telling Mary, okay, but like I really feel like Mima, if she got into the situation, she probably would have just told Mary, but whatever. It's fine. Okay, she lets it go, okay, and that's the end of it. I did like how George always gets extra country when he's angry. And it was fun seeing them freak out, okay? Whatever, overall, this episode is actually pretty solid, okay? Not as good as the first episode, but we're still pretty good. So, Georgie dropped out of school in season 5, episode 3. Yeah, this is another one with some drama. I just kind of like when George just came home and Missy just said, yeah, more drama. Also, she said, well, Mary said to her that you're going on a date night, and Missy said, oh, don't you have enough kids? That didn't make any sense. Well, I don't understand what that. I don't even understand that. How does she think that's what it means? Well, whatever. And even if they did it, they wouldn't be guaranteed to get another kid. Some people just do it for fun. Whatever, Georgie dropped out of school because Dale said that was fine. So, yeah, that's a reason. Georgie, oh, fuck off. Georgie and Mary were going to have a date night. I did kind of like when George was planning at work. He didn't want to go to the bowling alley because of Brenda. Oh yeah, third episode in a row referencing the relationship that Brenda and George have. That storyline is hanging on strong. By the way, Dale's actually got a pretty nice haircut in this episode, and this is his first time appearance since like season 4, episode 14, so like 7 episodes. That's been a while. Lots of stuff happening since he appeared last. It's not like they broke up either. Like they were together through all that. Yeah, so whatever. George and Mary get into a pretty big fight because Mary wants George to stay living here because she doesn't want her children to move away. We've seen that a lot with them, her and Sheldon, not as much with her and Georgie. So that's interesting. But George is like, no, he can't just drop out of school and not live here. Or personally, I don't really see the problem with Georgie dropping out because, whatever. School, more like crap. And, he is a pretty good salesman. I mean, he's going to be able to make his way without school. I mean, we know that he does. But I guess I can't see why his parents don't want him to drop out. So yeah, Mary and George separately go over to yell at Mima and Dale, okay? But, of course, it didn't really work. Yeah, whatever. George just dropped out of school now. It's finished then. Though it is kind of weird how in season 4, episode 1, like literally the last season, the principal said that people usually don't leave at the second year because of Sheldon's reason, which was just because he was too good for school. But it's just because they dropped out or pregnancy, and George said they could hit the trifactor, and I mean, they hit the double factor. I don't know if that's how you call it, but whatever. I mean, he said that Georgie might drop out of school as a joke, but then he ended up dropping out of school. Wow, George, wow. It's all George's fault, guys. Cancel George. Also, it's kind of strange that the principal just kind of convinced Georgie to drop out. I mean, he brought it up, but he didn't convince it. Yeah. And George and Mary were supposed to go on a date. That didn't happen. But things go wrong for Georgie. Yes, Tim and Jana break up because, they're not going to be seniors together. They're not going to go to the dance. Oh my god, I want to be a senior with my boyfriend. Oh my god. Remember that heartwarming scene in season 4, episode 16? Well, fuck that. No, it's season 4, episode 15, guys, sorry. Whatever, we haven't seen Jana since, and I doubt we'll see her ever again as Georgie has gone on to bigger and worse things. Of course, for the story of the season and the show as a whole, Georgie had to break up with Jana eventually, I guess. It would have been a little bit weird if he married Jana, right? Okay, but whatever. Well, thinking about it, it's a little bit weird. The person he's probably is going to marry it's a kind of a weirder choice, but whatever. Seeing as how older she is. But yeah, I think Shannon was kind of a bitch in this scene. Everybody liked her anyway, so yeah. I mean, she was kind of good in season 4, episode 15, but really just breaking up with Georgie over just him dropping out of school. What a bitch. The other plot on this episode is the one with Sheldon, I guess. Kind of. I mean, the episode kind of starts as if it was going to be like Sheldon trying to convince Dr. Sturgis to like come back to the college. I mean, I think that would have been pretty cool if it was just Sheldon, Dr. Sturgis. I mean, it would be nice. It's definitely not going to be as interesting as the Georgie dropping out of school plot. But I mean, it had potential. Okay, I'm not going to say it didn't, but we didn't get that. Instead, we got Linkletter and Sturgis having a drink and singing Lollipop. I did like seeing Dr. Linkler and Sturgis, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely the most unique interaction in the show because mostly in season 5, at least later on the season, they're enemies, you know, they're always arguing with each other and stuff. So it's kind of weird to see them like their friendlier side because I think it was mentioned in the first in Linkletter's first appearance that they were actually friends. So yeah. They both have existential crises, and it just turned into from a Sheldon plot to a Sturgis and Linkletter plot. He actually kind of has more screen time in the Georgie drops out of school plot because he's like talking to Mary and Missy and all that, and so it's a bit strange. He leaves a voicemail message and we see them just talking. Okay, it was kind of cool, but they ended up selling lollipop. And I'm not gonna say this was bad, but it was strange. I wasn't expecting it. I did like the scene though where Linkletter woke up and he was sleeping on the bench and the police officer said he couldn't sleep there. Like, that was kind of a weird scene. Like, where was he? Also, I think it's actually kind of funny that when Jenna and Georgie tried, they actually saw Dr. Linkletter and started just dancing. Jenna said that they probably didn't have any PhDs as well, or they dropped out of school, which is I just thought it was really funny. Okay. Whatever, Georgie and Sturgis eventually make their way to Mima's house, and she has a house full of fuckers. Is there enough rooms for these guys to stay? Whatever. I feel like Mima's house is even bigger than the Cooper's house, which is weird. I mean, like Mima's house is upstairs and everything. Like, Jesus Christ. Whatever. I like them interacting and stuff, and that was kind of fun. Dr. Linkletter realizing Linkletter. Sturgis realizing that Dr. Linkletter was left on a bench. It was fun. This episode was it was actually pretty good. Okay, and, yeah. Although the lollipop song thing and what they were singing, that was strange to say the least. So was season 4 episode no season 5 episode 4. Missy comes up with an idea that Georgie can move out into the garage and Missy can get her own room by just moving into Georgie's room. This does fix the plot hole of in the Big Bang Theory season 1 episode 15 where Missy said she got her eyebrows burnt off because she was trying to get into Sheldon's room, but like they shared a room in the show, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, I guess the eyebrow story is going to happen in the future, okay, with with Missy getting her own room. So it was nice how they moved on and stuff. I remember when they shared their own room. Okay, wow. Okay, things are changing. It's nice how they fixed that plot hole. Though I don't like how when they were trying to decide what the hell Jordan was going to do and all that, and where he was going to live. Before I got to the idea with him living in the garage, they said that he could like pay rent and all that, and how they were discussing that, and they just stopped for some reason. It feels like there was no reason why they didn't continue talking about that. It was just weird, and they just stopped. Okay, they actually hyped for this cool new idea where Georgie has to pay rent, and they didn't do. It's fine. I do like how this is kind of similar to how Leonard and Sheldon Sheldon moved out of Leonard's apartment in the Big Bang Theory season 10 and have so through the stuff was basically the same in both seasons or in both episodes here. So I mean that was fun, I guess. But that's about all the positives I have to say for the episode, this portion of it, because I didn't really like this one. Okay. Yeah, whatever. It just kind of didn't really feel that nice, okay? Sheldon is getting his own room and he's just not happy for some reason. It never really explained why. I don't really understand. Then they start blasting the music up really loud and I just don't really understand. Like, Sheldon's train is going brr brr and Missy's going, and it's like brr 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 brr. I'm just like, come on. Sheldon gets really annoyed and he goes into the garage without asking, and Georgie's in the middle of peeing in his bloody sink. And apparently Georgie's having a girl over, so... Yep. Georgie and Mary didn't really think about that when he told George to go move out. They won't really have direct control into who he's seeing. Whatever. That's not going to be a problem this series ever, right? Though I did think it was nice how Sheldon was sleeping. Did actually go to sleep on Missy's floor at the end of the episode, because they're still twins, bro. Okay, it was nice. It was a nice heartwarming moment. So also in this episode, the subplot is the start of the laundromat storyline. Basically, Mima buys this gambling room that also has a laundromat in it, and yeah, it does eventually lead into Georgie meeting Mandy, so it's pretty important. But it moves pretty slow. In this episode, we get the first part of the storyline where Mima buys the place, and then we get the laundromat, the laundromat in the gambling room. But then the gambling room gets shut down by actor that plays Patrick in SpongeBob. Officer Jake, that's his name. Yeah. But is it me, or did they literally just like to snitch on Nemo? He was like to the officer, are those laundromat and those gambling rooms legal? And yeah, that's how Jake got the idea. So thanks, Dale. Dale's a bitch. So yeah, that's all that happens pretty much. It's just yeah. Really not much happens in the storyline because they have to focus on the other plot. Shut up. But yeah, the laundromat storyline, I really wish I had more than this. I feel like the first and second parts of the laundromat should be combined into one, but yeah, whatever. I guess this is a little bit better than the other plot, but whatever. It just kind of a bit too slow, and yeah, it wasn't the best episode with the laundromat in it. I did kind of like the scene where Mima is like running the laundromat and stuff and, and stuff like that. And I just love it. Like she doesn't have time for taxes right now, okay? So yeah, it was pretty fun. Then she goes back into the laundry into the gambling room and it's all shut down. Woo! Okay, season 5, episode 5. This one's pretty good. I guess we have George back in on the wheel. What? Episode 4, we were missing that George and Brenda relationship, and it's back here again. Okay. Okay, we'll get to more of this. Bidding wants to ask Missy, and of course that's kind of weird. It'd be kind of weird even without the things that happened earlier on the season. But yeah, I did actually kind of like how George and Billy were interacting. I thought that was actually really cool. Okay, George being a really father figure to Billy. So season 4, episode 15, it was kind of it kind of acted it was like Herschel was kind of gone forever and kind of abandoned Billy, but he apparently he took the kids out in season 5 episode 1 and the season 4 episode 18 around then, so he's not gone completely. And also George helps Sheldon out with this his feud with not what Sheldon. He helps out Sheldon with the stuff he's going on in the university with Sheldon, with Dr. Sturgis and Dr. Linklater. So again, it was really, really awesome. Okay, but then Billy ended up asking Missy out anyway. Wayne kind of warned George about this. Don't get into in your teenage daughter's love life. Well, actually, Missy isn't actually a teenager yet. She's only like 12, so I guess the rules don't apply. But yeah, George messed up big time. Yeah, it's kind of weird how Missy was getting really annoyed at George in the season 4 finale, and then she realized how bad the things she did, and season 5 episode 1, and apologized to George, and now she's back to yelling at him again. Woo! Screw character development. George also gives Sheldon advice about his situation with Dr. Linklater and Dr. Sturgis, as I mentioned, and so that goes greatly. Just kidding. Well, I mean, not at first, but then it goes well. Yeah, nothing much to talk about here. Sturgis and Linklater are arguing, I guess, for the first time this season, and actually, well, I mean, they did argue once before in season 2, but here's after that running theme of them arguing every time they are on screen together. I mean, it's fine. It's not the most memorable argument they've had, but it works. Apparently, when they argue, they bring out the best in each other. Yeah, fuck off. Also, in this episode, Mary barely appears at all. She's gone to like a church retreat or something. I don't know. She says there's one scene in the car with Pastor Jeff, so yeah. Yeah, they just got rid of her, okay? Okay, and George goes over to Brandes to talk to Billy and all that. I like that, and we get to see the history with George has with women. Okay, it says that he asked someone out on the bus and did the exact, and he got turned down, and then he did the exact same thing again. Who would do that, George? Learn from your mistakes, bro. Even I know how to do that. It was nice, okay? I like how season 5 kind of introduces a lot of new character dynamics that we haven't seen much in the show, like George and Billy, and now it's just kind of weird how you can look back at season 1 with that awkward conversation they had in like the first episode or something. Conveniently, Billy was bringing over eggs to Missy's, and she wanted to give them to Missy. Give the eggs to me. Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking now. I really do like the ending of this episode. I don't think it's the best. I think season 4 to 15 just narrowly beats it out, but I like it, okay? George tried so hard in this episode to do the right thing for his children, okay? Even if it didn't end up in going that well, okay? Yeah. I like how and Sheldon says that George might not be the best dad, but they weren't the best kids, okay? Yeah, no one can be perfect. I thought it was a perfect ending, okay? And yeah. Anyway, the laundromat's so bad. Let's go. So Mima's having a pretty hard time with the laundromat, because of course there's no gambling room to even it out. So she's just running this old laundromat, and there's lots of like dirt in the laundry thingamaboobs. So she tried to get Georgia to take the whole thing over, just dump it on her grandson. Good job, Mima. Okay, and she said that it was going to be wall-to-wall girls. I don't know why there'll be girls, like young girls, Georgie's age, at the bloody laundromat, but whatever, he's fucking stupid. No wonder his parents didn't like that he dropped out of school. But Georgie does actually have an idea to get the laundromat up and running again. Okay, and I actually did like this idea, Georgie, and it kind of makes sense why Mima didn't really exactly agree with it at first. It's you trade in teddy bears for you win teddy bears instead of money, and then you trade the teddy bears in for money. That's smart, okay. Again, though, it just kind of moved a little bit slowly, though. I would have George actually go to the laundromat and then say, no, I don't want to do this. And then he comes back with the idea. And Mima's like, no, I don't want to do the idea. Then having Dale convince Mima to do the idea. And then Mima come back to George and say, yeah, let's do the idea. See how long that was? That we explain it. It just feels so dragged out. See, the laundromat part from the previous episode and the one from this episode could be combined in together to make just a much shorter plot. Also, I don't like how this is actually the ending scene with Dale telling Mima about how good of idea George's idea was, and then Mima going to Georgie. I think I like the other scene with the one with George and Sheldon's commentary as the ending scene. I think that's a much better choice. But you know what, showrunners, you do you, okay? And overall, I definitely rather the other plotline a lot more, although this is probably the best out of the original 3 laundromat plots that are in like episode 4, 5, and 6, okay? I think I should take a break from it in season 5, episode 7. Jesus Christ, wow. Okay, season 5, episode 6. Now, guys, I like to savor my opinions, okay? I don't like to just say things outright. When the first time I'm talking about something, I plan to rank all the episodes of Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory eventually. Now, I would have done it sooner, but the Microsoft Word document I had both of these rankings on was it just disappeared one day, so you're not going to get that ranking video anytime soon. But whatever, I'm just going to say that, yeah, this is the worst episode in the entire show. No spoiler, it's just the worst. Yeah, it's my least favorite of all the Pastor Rob episodes, anyway. Yeah, I did not like how this whole Mary and Pastor Rob thing started. Okay, yeah, I think the Mary and George thing got off to a much better foot. Yeah. I'm just saying, I did not like how they kind of had Missy, they had Missy have a thing for Pastor Rob, and how she imagined that they would get married. You know what's weird is they didn't even hug. They just did a high five. Like, come on. Whatever. So Missy has a lot of questions about the S word, not shit, but sex. In Sunday school, okay, this just puts me in a very awkward position. Just yeah. That's just the subject of this episode. sex. So yeah. Pastor Rob thinks they should like talk to the children about sex. Okay, Pastor Creep. And they start talking about how they're going to do this and all that, and yeah, this is a very awkward moment because Mary is talking about how she didn't wait until marriage to do the thing with Bob. Yeah, it's pretty awkward. But probably the worst scene of this episode was the one where Pastor Rob just came over in a dream sequence and did the thing with Mary. Okay. Um, it sure was a doozy. But yeah, Missy's really annoying Mary in this episode when she brings the whole thing up, and even Sheldon even gets Dr. Sturgis fired. So yeah, what will come out of this? Nothing. Actually, from here on out, actually, Dr. Sturgis' story just kind of feels like nothing. But we'll get to that. Now we learn that how Sheldon came up with the name Coitus, because that's the best way to talk about it. I don't know, man. It was strange. I mean, even when you say coitus, it doesn't really. It kind of sounds weird and it makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, so good job, Sheldon. You make people even more uncomfortable. Good job. I don't care. I don't like it. I do not like this part about the episode. It is really uncomfortable. It's just awkward. I don't care. I don't like it. I think Big Bang Theory did this kind of thing a lot better. I don't know, maybe because there wasn't children involved. I don't know, maybe because it didn't come out of nowhere. Yeah, let's move on to the second plot of this episode. So, the second plot, Georgie, of course, helped out Mimo with a lot of the stuff, so of course Mimo's gonna hire Georgie straight away. Are you stupid? No, you're not stupid. You probably presumed that was going to happen, but no, that's not what happens. Mima just kind of throws Georgie under the bus in this episode. She's like, "No, I'm not going to hire you," and then she kind of says it's just really mean to Georgie for the whole episode, even though Georgie had the idea that brought this place back to life. Literally, she is just a bitch. This episode is no better than the other one. Okay, it's just Mima being unnecessarily mean for the whole thing. At least later on the series, in the season, like, Mimo had a reason to be mean. You know, Georgie literally got someone pregnant that was like 12 years older than her. Him. Okay, but Georgie did nothing wrong. He helped out Mimo in this situation. Like, why is she being mean? What does she have against Georgie? Whatever. Oh, God. Whatever, start running the business, and it's just them earning money for the rest of the episode, and this Wade guy being really stupid. Him not understanding how this whole system works, and it is just fucking stupid. Do you guys understand why this is not a good episode? It is terrible. I hate it. This episode is stupid. I do not like it. My least favorite episode of the season and the show. And okay. I think I'm going a little bit too far. Okay, it's not abysmal. It's just terrible. Okay, no, it's not. It's bad. Okay, it's just bad. Luckily, I don't think there's going to be any episode that's going to be worse than this. Okay. Oh man, I don't think season 6 can produce something worse than this. Based upon the few plot descriptions I've read so far, I'm pretty sure that early season 6 is going to be pretty good. So yeah, let's move on. So, Season 5, Episode 7, this is a very interesting one to say the least. We see Howard's voice actor return, Simon Helberg, to play him in a voiceover sequence, so that was pretty cool, okay? We've seen, of course, what's his name? Jim Parsons return for Sheldon, of course, every episode he voices him, so nothing, nothing out of the ordinary. We've seen Amy in season 4, episode 1, and later on in season 5 as well. And we saw Kaylee Cuoco play the water in season 3, episode 10. That sounds weird. It was in a dream sequence, okay? Anyway, we have Howard here and the voiceover section, and it actually kind of inspired me for my Big Bang Theory season 13 script that I am working on. So stay tuned for that, guys. Whenever it's coming out, it will never come out, guys. I'm just kidding. It's taken me years to make it. I announced it on Christmas, and I'm still only on episode 3. Okay, so let's talk about the voiceover later. So Sheldon has joined an engineering class, and yeah. That's it. This teacher is, he's kind of a weirdo. He gives everyone numbers and then locks them out of their classes if they're too late. I had a teacher like that who locked me out of the classroom and told me to go to the study hall, which is where you go if you miss a class. I was like 5 minutes late, guys. My locker was broken. It wasn't opening. And this is on the first month as well, so like, come on, man. Basically, Sheldon ends up doing homework for him all the time, and it's always wrong, and Sheldon's trying to figure out why. It's really weird how like Sheldon was like is actually like the smartest person. Um, well, like he's one of the smartest people in the college, even though he's only like 10. Well, no, at this stage he's 11, right? So if he's really, really smart and he got this wrong so much, what are the other students, man? Maybe he should have given them a little. Maybe the homework should have been a little bit easier. Whatever. Okay. I did actually really like this. I actually kind of like the Professor Boucher's character. I like his interactions with President Hagemeyer. He has tenure, of course, so she can't fire him. Tenure sounds like really good fun. And she'll just struggled a lot here, and fuck off. And so George came and told the professors just like, calm down, bro. Like, what you doing? And yeah, and then the President Boucher told George that you had got to figure out stuff on your own. So George told that to Sheldon. Okay, it was kind of like a nice speech. Okay, like George and Sheldon don't really have that much like on 1-to-1 classic George and Sheldon interactions in this season, so it's nice to get it here. I like that. Okay, you can't just be taught everything in life, but then again, I mean, he is a teacher. It's kind of in the name. Yeah, but I don't really know why they did this episode because I thought Sheldon didn't like engineering after season 4, right? Where he was kind of hired for that project with Dr. Linklater. Wasn't that kind of like engineering? Then he realized he was just doing all this handiwork and stuff, and that's why he didn't like. I don't know. I thought that was why, but then this episode came out and kind of gave us a new reason. I like we got all of that stuff wrong, right? And then he just got locked out of the class when he finally got it right. I mean, he thought he got it right, but he probably did get it right, okay? But he got locked out of the class, so piss puck poo, Sheldon. And then the reason he tells Howard why he doesn't like engineering is just because of him. Like, it's like not even engineering, it's just him. Like, that's so mean. Also, the voiceover stuff with Howard is actually pretty fun. Okay, I did kind of like the part where they were kind of referencing stuff that's actually happening in real time. After season 12, how Sheldon is wearing his Nobel medal all the time. I like that. Okay, that's kind of inspiring me for season 13, episode 3, my season 13 script. I'm not going to reveal the plot yet. Maybe I'll give you like a rundown of the whole season when I eventually have it done. Is that good, guys? Yeah, I'll do that. Also, the second plot, we have Dale looking after June when she has her leg broken. And he washed her naked. I don't know why Mima had that much of a problem with it though, okay? They've seen each other naked like a bunch of times before. They were married, okay? Literally. Yeah, just in my nitpick though, but why didn't Dale know what June's favorite ice cream was? What? Come on, Dale. Bitch. Nothing much to talk about here. It's fine, I guess, It's nice to see June again, yeah. This episode is a lot better than the last one, though. Okay, that's definitely an improvement. Yes, you managed to improve on the worst episode in the show. Good job, young Sheldon. Whatever, guys. Yeah, I was going to do the outro there for a minute. I was like, what am I doing? Anyway, yeah, this isn't as good as the other plot though, because I actually really did enjoy that one. So, season 5, episode 8, the main plot here with Sheldon is that he wants more science stuff in the university, and President Hagemeyer doesn't want to deal with him, so she pretends that she isn't actually the boss of the university. There's someone above her, the Grand Chancellor. Yeah, this isn't great. I didn't really enjoy this one. It was fine, okay? It was fine. Yeah, I just kind of feel like they made this one just because they wanted something for Sheldon to do in this episode. Didn't really enjoy it. Well, I mean, it was fine, I guess. Yeah. Kind of feels like episode 1 where the Sheldon plot just isn't really that interesting at all. Okay, the Grand Chancellor. Yeah, what am I supposed to be saying about this? Man, season 4 or 5 videos go. I like they're much longer than all the rest of them, but like it kind of feels weird now because I don't really have anything much to talk about in this plot. Yeah, it was fine. Let's move on. But the plot that I want to talk about is that Mary finds out about the gambling room, and of course she is pissed. Okay, I guess it is Mary, so yeah, it is a gambling room, and Georgie is working there and all that. Now, she was a bit annoyed at me at first when just talking about it when when she figured out she's doing the gambling room, but she doesn't even realize that Georgie was in the whole situation. Okay, but like, come on, Mary, just calm the fuck down. Like, what were you expecting? I feel like she was expecting Georgie to not be involved with it. Like, what the hell, man? Of course, Georgie's gonna be involved, bitch. Whatever. This was actually kind of fun, though. Yeah. Always fun to see Mary freak out and all that. Yeah. And Misty overhears a conversation, and yeah, I guess she wants to gamble. My favorite part of this about this episode, though, is actually kind of the ending where George goes in the gambling room, though. He's like just telling George to keep it secret, though. So yeah. So yeah, Mary gets pretty annoyed. Okay. Yeah. Again, nothing really much I need to talk about here. It's pretty good. It goes without saying, though, that I do like this plot a lot more than the second plot. The first plot, with the Grand Chancellor. At least this actually, as a talking about plot, actually kind of feels like it deserves to be a subplot of an episode, So the first three laundromat episodes, which it kind of feels like they could even be fitted into 22 minutes altogether. I feel like they really dragged it out. Okay. So, season 5, episode 9, Sheldon gets the yips after Missy gets the yips, because apparently yips is contagious. I'm gonna stop saying yips. Just kidding, yips, yips, yips. I don't really like the name yips, though. It sounds really weird. Doesn't it sound weird? Yips, 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 yips. So it's weird. Sheldon cannot finish a chest because he's kind of blanking out and getting the yips. Something that you do over and over again. Just all of a sudden you're not really able to do. I don't really understand. Like, come on, Sheldon, just do it. I mean, I probably won't be able to do anything you're able to do, but like, just do it, Sheldon. This plot never really amused me. I don't know. It wasn't the best. It was always kind of a little bit boring to me. Yeah, another Sheldon plot that is kind of boring. This is not what I looked forward to when I read the plot description for this episode. It's fine. Let's move on. Actually, by the way, what happened to the college now? Why is it all just like chairs and desks now? There used to be actually like proper seats there. Like, what happened to it? Did that cut the budget for the show? Also, weird how Dr. Linkler was saying that he was going to make it like play tennis, but he said he was going to make it his doubles match. So presumably he's play like tennis or badminton. So it's quite weird saying something that's not like a suit. Also, I did actually like how he tricked Sheldon into giving him his test, and I actually forgot I forgot that he ends up taking the test like 3 times. Okay, I thought he just took it twice, but no, he took it 3 times. Yeah, but Bob Ross. I think this is Bob Ross kind of makes Sheldon kind of relax a little bit and retake the test. Yeah, I don't know why Dr. Linkler made Sheldon retake the test. Like, come on, man. He did the test once. Okay, he got the score that he got. Just move on. Whatever I said, it was fine. I actually did actually like how Missy Kate overcame Harry Gibbs with just imagining Dale in the glove. I think that's actually really really funny. I like how Missy kind of brought up the puberty at Sheldon when he was walking away from her, like Sheldon did to her earlier. It was funny. So the plot that we all want to see in this episode is the one with George and Brenda, because it's actually entertaining and it kind of affects the whole story overall. But Sheldon getting fucking yips doesn't. We all know he's gonna be back to normal at the end of the episode. It's just how things go. So then again, you could kind of say that George is going to end up cheating with Brenda. Most likely going to end up cheating with Brenda. I say no, it might not be with Brenda. We don't know, but he's going to end up cheating with someone. Sorry, guys, spoiler alert. We know it from Big Bang Theory, okay? But I guess we don't really know how George ends up doing that and what leads up to it, and we still are missing a part of the story, and it's more interesting in Sheldon getting fucking yips. I as always, I like Brenda and George interacting, and I like just seeing George, Brenda, and Billy on the screen together. It was actually kind of cool. It just kind of felt right. George made her move on Mary in this episode, and she didn't agree. Nope, Mary, what are you doing? Your marriage is on a very thin line at the moment. What are you doing? But it's okay. You do you. Okay. And Brenda was kind of made a little bit of an inappropriate comment. I think it was kind of weird. but it was really nice. Okay, really really nice. Yeah. This is obviously better than the Sheldon getting the Yips plot because this one actually matters. Whatever, it was great. Okay, I don't need to say why. Okay, it links to the story of earlier on the season. Okay, and I think this is like, oh no. You get one after this. You get one more Brenda plot before it kind of the plot kind of disappeared later on in the season. Okay, season 5, episode 10. So this episode was pretty interesting. And it kind of feels like it's a Sheldon plot that isn't very interesting because it's I don't know, Sheldon in college, because none of those plots are really interesting this season. It's kind of weird though since it was kind of those plots were actually pretty good last season. Whatever, yeah. Sheldon lets Sam and all the other people use her dorm room for studies, so we have Sam back here again. So yeah, she was someone who had to do like a group project with Sheldon in season 3, episode 15, and she hung out with Mary for some reason in season 4, episode 5, and now she's here again. So she originally just let Sam use his dorm room for study, but then everyone else kind of gets in on it. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that was great, and then George and Mary had to explain the whole thing to him. The bang bang bang. Yeah, Dr. Sturgis tells him earlier in the episode that humans are kind of designed to, want people to like them. I don't even know really why Dr. Sturgis is there at the university. I don't know, he's hopping off with Linklater and Sheldon. I don't know, man. What are they doing with this character? I'll talk about this later on, but yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like Dr. Sturgis was on a character arc and then they just kind of dropped anything interesting with him later on in the season. But as I said, I'm going to get to that later. Kind of like when Missy kind of figured it out before Mary did, what was going on in the college. Like, yeah, that was weird. Yeah, and the way they were explaining it to Sheldon, kind of, it's weird. They were goofy. They were goofing off in the room. Okay, that's not a lie. It was nice to see Sheldon kind of popular, and also I wanna ask a question. This is gonna be weird, but why did Missy want to explain the thing to Sheldon? Why did she want to do that's just my opinion. But yeah. Whatever, this is a pretty good plot, probably much more enjoyable than the last few Sheldon plots we've seen, so yeah. You know what? Also in the episode, we have another June appearance, and yeah, she wins like $11,000 in like one of those cash machines. So that's a pretty big problem for Mima. She has to kind of sort it all out and everything. Yeah. So she ends up getting June in on the business and all that. So she's going to be part of the business, so she gets her money back. Yeah, because apparently there was like a glitch in the system. Yeah, so that's great. Yeah, yes, this is great. So now she's paying off the police, she's paying Georgie, now June, so yeah, she's paying a lot of people. Actually, personally, thought that was actually kind of funny, okay, and how June was trying to get in on this place and kind of spice the whole place up. I don't know why Mima had such a big problem with that, to be honest. I don't like it as much as the other plot, okay? But I mean it was good. I love the end of the ending scene when Mima just lost it. She was completely insane. She had lost the plot, gonna yell at Georgie, okay, and then Missy watched because reasons. This is a pretty good episode. Okay, season 5, episode 11. Oh man, okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is my favorite episode of the season as a whole. It is amazing. I don't even know where to start with this one. This is like right smack dab in the middle of the season. Okay, there's a lot going on in this episode, which is very important to like the overall storyline of the season and the whole show. Whatever. I guess we're gonna start with like I guess kind of the least important, like the lock-in side of the things, which I thought was pretty cool. I think some people are probably expecting to see Paige here, but I mean I'm not really that annoyed. I mean Paige doesn't really fit into the storyline at all. I mean, what would there really be for Paige to be here? Usually all the Paige stories kind of different from each other, but like we've already seen Paige and Sheldon interact in this kind of Bible church setting, I guess, kind of in this exact room. Or do you guys want Paige to make a Sheldon move on Sheldon during the night? Is that what you want? That's weird. That's extremely weird. Whatever. Thinking about this episode is actually pretty fun as well. Okay, I like how Billy's saying that he'll be here to Missy during the scary movie. It's only I shrunk the kids. Oh man, yeah. I guess the Sheldon part of this episode was probably the worst part about it, but it wasn't bad. It just kind of felt a bit weird. Like after everything that went on in this episode that I'll get to in a little bit, okay, with the Georgie plot and the Georgie plot and the George and Mary plot, they're just gonna have and then Sheldon's voiceover is just yeah, is him winning at sardines. I think it's pretty convenient that every single time after that, someone suggested to play sardines. So yeah, maybe Missy told him about it, but whatever. That was actually pretty fun. Did kind of like how Sheldon was Mary's eyes on the inside. And I guess we got to see a few of Missy's friends. I mean, they're just kind of background characters, but whatever. I did like all the terms early on for Mary to kind of have Master Jeff stay around and it not just be her and Pastor Rob. Because Mary is a Christian, okay? She doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. I mean, even to George, remember back a few episodes ago? Actually, when Missy brings up the sardines thing and then Billy starts counting and Missy's like, what are you counting for? And Billy just says, I don't know. That was a bit weird, right? Because I don't think Missy ever told Billy about the plan. So, that was a bit of a weird interaction. Oh man, I do think we could back to Sheldon being in the hiding space for a bit too long. And also, since Sheldon was in the hiding spot for a lot of the episode, basically he was like the person in the Cooper family who appeared in this episode the least. Like seriously, he doesn't feel like the main character in this episode. Very strange, yeah. Man, I had this much to say about the lock-in side of things. Jesus Christ, this is going to be a long review for this episode. Although this is definitely the weakest out of the four plots, I guess, kind of four, I guess, because Mary is kind of linked to this plot, but I'm going to still talk about it a little bit later. It's still pretty good, okay, and I still will talk about for 3.5 minutes, okay, so that was really cool, a really fun concept, and let's go on to the other parts of the episode. So, let's talk about the other plot that will end up really affecting later on this season, yeah. I'm presuming you know what happens later on, okay, you've seen... Yeah, of course, if you're watching this review, you've probably seen the episode right now. You know, I'm not going to spoil like what goes on later in the season, just in case you haven't seen it yet. But whatever, okay. Georgie meets a woman that is way over his age. Like seriously, she is 29 and Georgie is 17. There is a 12-year age difference. 12 years. Jesus Christ. So yeah, you know what I mean. So when this episode's promo first came out, I saw the little clip of Georgie and Mandy, and I was hooked instantly because I did actually want to see where this was going. Okay, kind of I felt like a big thing. I felt like it was gonna go on. It was gonna be interesting, and I was completely right here. Yeah, I'm one of the OGs when it comes to Georgie and Mandy's relationship, guys. Sweet Mandy, who came from San Antonio, wherever the fuck that is, and Georgie and Mandy bond over them living in their about them feeling like a child when they live at their parents' house, yeah, whatever. And the good old push pull. Now that I'm saying that kind of sounds really weird. It almost kind of sounds inappropriate, and I never thought about that until I've said it in front of camera, where millions of people could potentially watch this. I say potentially; these get no views at all. But yeah, let's move on. Okay, so Mandy actually does lie at first about her age too. Of course, like Georgie lies. He says that he is 21 when he's 17. To be honest, Georgie does kind of look older than 17. He can pass off as 21 in my opinion. Like. But then again, that kind of does kind of look like 19. I feel like that's like his 18 or 19. Mandy says she's 25, so she lied about her age first, but she actually came clean at the end of the episode Um, but Georgie comes clean later. Whatever. So Georgie takes Mandy to dinner, and Mima actually sees them during dinner. So that's pretty great. It was kind of awkward. So I thought that was pretty funny, and yeah. I do kind of like the relationship Mima and Mandy have later on the season. So I mean, it's kind of cool that they meet here. But yeah, this was the start of something big, okay, and it will unfold at the end of the season, as we know. Unless you haven't watched the episodes later on in the season. Oops. So George has a lot to do in this episode. Of course, Mary, tells him that he should be coming to the lock-in to, be a chaperone. But George is like, no. And he is right, because a lock-in full of loads of children doesn't really sound like a very fun time, unless you are a child. Okay, he does call Brenda, but then just doesn't speak on the phone because he's an idiot. I do kind of like this though. He's stuck at home, nothing really to do. Okay, he even calls me aunt and offers to go over to her house for dinner, but she's having none of that, bro. So he goes out with Principal Peterson. It's really weird how they're like made out as like friends here, even though like the principal literally is his boss. But okay. He's portrayed pretty differently in like the two versions we've seen. We see him like here in like a um like a kind of chill dude. I don't know how to explain it. And then he's like actually like a proper principal in like other episodes, like earlier on in season 5, episode 3, and even the season finale. Yeah, we see him here kind of flirt a bit with Brenda, which is really weird. He was kind of thinking about setting him up with Brenda back in a season 5, episode 9. At the end of that, I forgot to mention that because me stupid. I mean, it was kind of cool. Okay, this season kind of I think it's number one season where like they make fun of Billy's stupidness the most. Like seriously, Jesus. Maybe just because they have Brenda a lot more in here. Okay, so yeah. Billy might not even make it to high school. Though I don't really know what he was then trying to gain by saying that George made him put on pants to come there. Yeah, that was a bit stupid. But I swear Brenda worked at like a bigger like bowling alley, right? Not this place. Like I don't know, man. I thought she worked at somewhere a bit different. I thought she would. We saw where Brenda worked back in season 1. When Mary came to talk to her. So I don't really know what was going on with that, but whatever. So they're talking a bit, and yeah, George just really is not enjoying this. I feel like George is gonna have like an emotional affair with Brenda. I heard that thing come up on like Reddit or something, and I kind of feel like it's pretty suitable to George's situation here. But George is a good man. Okay, he's not actually gonna do anything with this or anything. Okay. Then he leaves. He goes to the lock-in to see Mary, and this is the most important scene in the episode, um, other than maybe Georgie and Mandy meeting. Before that, I really need to talk about the Mary and Pastor Rob stuff, which I guess leads into the George plot. They kind of intertwined. Yeah. Kind of weird. The only plot that hasn't isn't connected to any of the others is the Georgie and Mandy plot, which is just kind of completely separate to the of the three. So Mary and Pastor Rob actually bond throughout the lock-in, and it's not just a dream sequence this time. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really like how this plot really got off to us got going in season 5, episode 6. I mean, I did like when the character was introduced, but how the actual connection between them and Mary's crush of Pastor Rob was kind of introduced. I did not like that in season 5, episode 6. But I did kind of feel like there was a connection here. Okay, I kind of liked it. Okay, probably my favorite Pastor Rob appearance. Okay, like seeing the history between them and how Mary did actually smoke once and actually is still smoking. Okay, I remember seeing her smoking back in season 3, episode 21, the season 3 finale. That was cool. It was just cool to see a good connection between them. I thought it was pretty awesome. And it's pretty important. I feel like we'll see a lot more of Pastor Rob in season 6. Okay, yeah. I mean, Brenda kind of disappears from this point onwards. I mean, she isn't seen again until season 3, episode 19. But also, Pastor Rob kind of disappears. I mean, he doesn't make an appearance until later on the season, in season 3, not in season 5, episode 20 and 21, I think, which is kind of strange. So, of course, I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to it at the end of the season. Of course, this video, guys, wow. Oh, I'm only halfway through. God's sake, this is taking me so long to record. Guys, have you noticed that there's been no Alfie Channel videos uploaded recently? This is the reason. This video's taking a lot out of me. So George goes to the lock-in and goes to Mary. I thought this was probably one of the best scenes of the entire season. Definitely this episode anyway. It was just really cool, okay? This kind of sets in motion the kind of the downfall of George and Mary's marriage, definitely now. We're going on the downhill, okay? George and Mary, okay, their marriage is in unsafe hands. I feel like George Carter felt less guilty about all the Brenda stuff now that he saw Mary and Pastor Rob bonding. I feel like he was just a bit annoyed. And we'll see kind of another reason why he's going to be really annoyed in season 5, episode 14, which I'll be reviewing in this video. Wow, okay, Jesus. Overall, this was definitely the best episode of the entire season. I love this one. All of the plots are pretty good. I mean, even Sheldon was playing the sardines. I mean, it wasn't bad. Love Georgie meeting Mandy. Love all the George and Mary stuff and how that goes on. Probably one of the most important episodes of the entire season. Course introduces Mandy, which is very, very important, and pushes George and Mary's marriage downfall a lot further. Let's move on to another episode. Jesus Christ. So, season 5, episode 12. This is probably one of the weirdest episodes of the season. We've come off of an episode that is pretty important to the overall story and is actually really good. And this is the complete opposite, okay? Well, I do like this plot better than the other one, which I think is just not good at all. This one was weird. Okay, Nathan returned. The character from season 3, episode 11. I think, I don't know, man. I can't believe I'm able to remember all these episodes. So he was in that episode, and he brought Sheldon a Star Trek tape because he forgot to. He didn't tape it over because Georgie had taped over one of his shows over it. So yeah, Nathan came to their house. We see him return to this episode, and I guess he's going to like Comic-Con, so Sheldon's going to go to Comic-Con. At first, I thought it was going to be the origin story of how Will Wheaton became Sheldon's arch enemy, and I definitely would have rathered that, but I guess it wouldn't make sense because Sheldon was, I think, a little bit older. It doesn't happen yet. Will Wheaton is not Sheldon's enemy yet. However, he ends up going on this bus full of loads of guys in comic books. Good costumes, but of course he snuck on because he tried to ask all of his parents and everyone and Mr. Lundy. We'll get to that later. But yeah, none of them wanted to go. Understandably, for God's sake, even I wouldn't want to go. This is stupid. And Mr. Givens is there. Mr. Givens. What? Why is he there? Whatever. It's kind of weird though. My favorite part of this episode is just the facial expressions he makes. Though, I love when he just like quotes. I don't know a quote from his show. I think back at them in the back of the at the back of the bus, and then they just all stare at them, and he just turns around and just makes this weird ass facial expression. It's just kind of weird. It's strange. They do and Nathan and Mr. Givens argue about which is better, Star Trek or Mr. Givens' show. I don't understand. Why is he here? It doesn't make any sense. What the hell? This is so strange. Oh god, guys, you can just skip this episode and rewatch. It has nothing to do with the story of the show. It's not important, okay? Though I guess these last episodes in season 1 and 2 aren't important to the overall story because like they're just starting off and they're just kind of feeling individual episodes. Okay? Point taken, guys. If you do make that point. But then Sheldon and Nathan start arguing about which is better. Oh my god, it's better, Next Generation or Next Generation or the old version of Star Trek. I don't watch Star Trek. I don't know what's going on here. This is stupid. I would hate to be driving this bus as well. Like seriously. Whatever. It's kind of embarrassing that this isn't the worst plot of the episode. Okay, seriously. Definitely one of the worst Sheldon plots of the season. Okay, and that's saying a lot because the Sheldon plots aren't really that great in this season, really at all. So yeah, embarrassing. Come on, Sheldon. So also in this episode, which is arguably the main plot, is Mary selling makeup. I know, amazing. I did not like this one. The Mr. Lundy episodes will be getting worse and worse all the time. Okay, I did not like the season 4 one. I was really hoping that they would just drop this character out of the show entirely, but no, he's in season 5 now, and to be honest, he's probably going to be in season 6. I feel like after season 3, they just kind of wanted him to be in every single season, so they just kind of forced him in there, and I just don't like him. Okay. His episodes are never really that great. Okay, I guess the first three weren't bad, but now they're just getting stale. Why does Mary want to sell makeup? Like seriously, I don't understand. This doesn't really fit in line with the Mary we see in season 5, episode 14. Definitely not. I mean, she was a big bitch in the complete different direction in that episode. And I feel like it goes on way too long and stuff. And Jesus Christ, just yeah, it's just kind of annoying seeing Mary just I don't know, show off makeup to all of her Bible study friends and Miss Hutchins and Brenda and all those. It's not really fun to watch. It isn't a very good plot. I do not like it. Okay. Oh man, whatever. Okay, she doesn't even let Macy wear the makeup. Like, come on, Mary. Whatever, not very good. Okay, you can see why I like the Sheldon plot better. Okay, but it's still not being that great. I just didn't like this. Okay, I still don't understand why Mary doesn't want to sell makeup. That it just doesn't make any sense. I feel like I was gonna say smell makeup, but that doesn't make any sense. Oh, whatever. Let's move on. Okay, so season 5, episode 13. Yeah, we're gonna be covering this Sheldon plot first. Guys, I want to ask you a question. You remember in the Big Bang Theory when it was stated that Sheldon had no friends when he was a kid whatsoever, and when they introduced Tam, it was like, okay, sure, fine, you know, it's all right. I guess he has like one friend, okay, and yeah. And Sheldon just doesn't acknowledge him because of the stuff that's explained in season 12 and the Tam turbulence episode. Because like I don't know, Tam betrayed him by not moving to California with him. Oh my god! But what did these friends do to annoy him? Really? Sheldon has more friends that we have not known about. Yeah. So he meets Oscar and Darren. Well, I mean, actually, Darren actually appeared in season 4, so he's a returning character. Well, this is a bit weird. Okay, in this part of the season, there's so much returning characters. It's just Sam from episode 10, Nathan and Mr. Lundy from episode 12, and then probably Darren here from episode 13. It's a bit weird, but whatever. I do like how it acknowledges that Sheldon and Meemaw play video games. Okay, that was actually really nice because that hasn't really been mentioned since season 2. It's not that I hate these characters, it's just that I really just wish they didn't exist. But whatever, I guess it's just fun, whatever. And Sheldon really wants to stay over at the university at Oscar and Darren's for later, but Mary isn't letting him. Okay, yeah. But then George kind of does let him because he's in a bad mood. We'll discuss that in another few minutes. So then Mary has to go and get Sheldon and all that, and he ends up barfing up some Skittles and all the candy and stuff like that. Candy. So George lets Sheldon stay later, and then they play Dungeons and Dragons. Now this would have been fine if there wasn't a girl involved. I'm not being sexist or anything. But in the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon did say that he's never played Dungeons and Dragons with a girl before. So yeah, it's not even like the girl adds anything, or is a good character, or is funny, or does anything. She doesn't do anything other than ask Sheldon, is he alright? Or if he's had some enough food or anything. Why is he here? Or why is she here? At least bring another dude. Like, okay, yeah, I know. It sounds sexist, but no. No continuity. I care about continuity. Sometimes I put a sad continuity when it means that we can have better stories or something like that, but this doesn't advance the plot at all. Whatever, she is mentioned in another episode with Oscar and Darren, okay? I didn't really mind that because it was a mention. It's not like they played Dungeons and Dragons or anything. Oh, whatever. I did actually like the scene where Oscar, where Darren was carrying Sheldon. The Mary showed up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Darren who's like the bigger dude. But I'm not really exactly sure. Whatever. That was pretty funny. Yeah, whatever. Let's move on. So, also in this episode, people are coming after George's job. So, yeah, he might be getting fired. I'm not saying that he is, but if you've seen the season finale, you will know that what will happen. Yeah, but no spoilers, guys. Though, no. Yeah, I do actually like the soon scene with Sheldon and not Sheldon, George and the boosters. Though I like how they were making fun of him and all that. And yeah, this is a pretty rough day for George. I feel sorry for him in this episode. He's going through a hell of a day, okay? And it was actually a really nice scene between George and Mary, okay? One of the nicest ones in the season. And it was just really nice. But yeah, I guess this is the first part of the George and the whole him getting fired plot. Okay, it'll continue on to later in the season with season 5, episode 16, and the season finale. And the third plot of this episode is the one with Missy. I would say and Mary, but Mary isn't like the other two plots as well. Like, oh, she can't get a break, can she? It's mainly Missy's, okay, and I guess the other characters jump in and out as well. Jump in and out, what? Okay, yeah. Missy wants to wear this thing to school, but Mary's not allowing Mary's not allowing Missy to wear this piece of clothing to school. So yeah, and she makes Missy wear something really weird. It's just no. It's kind of weird. Actually, she wasn't wearing anything like that on their first day of school. Like what happened? What changed here? That was weird. How Georgia was reading that paper in the morning. Like what? That was a bit random. I do always love hearing about George telling Missy and other people's stories of him back when he was in high school and all that. Yeah, he got into the exact same situation that Missy did. Well, I mean, in the first part of the situation, yeah. Seriously, if I was a girl, I would not be wearing the clothes that Missy was wearing. Jesus Christ, she looks like Mary. Jesus Christ, God no. Oh yeah, but Missy changes in school in the bathrooms. Okay, yeah, and now she's in the clothes shed she wants to be in. Wow. This is gonna be great, guys. Honestly, I'm so excited. Oops. Yeah, so the things don't really go that well for Missy. She gets made fun of, and then she shaves her legs, and I'm guessing blood goes everywhere. Do like how that Miss Mima has some experience with it, with the kind of that kind of stuff because of Sheldon. I thought that was actually kind of funny. And apparently we see Heather M and Heather B. I'm pretty sure that's them. And I think on the wiki it says that this is the first time we've seen them, but I swear they appeared in like a season 3 episode where some girls were making fun of Missy for playing baseball. I thought that was them, but maybe it's not them. Maybe some other random children. But then how do we actually know that these two girls are Heather M and Heather B this time? I don't know. I call it the Heather M and Heather B situation. Whatever. So I actually think this plot was pretty enjoyable. I still do think that the George one was a little bit better because I do love that storyline. Okay, and it started here, which is pretty important to the plot of the show. But this one wasn't too bad. Okay? I did like this one. Okay, it's definitely better. They're both better than the Sheldon plot where he finds friends because that just fucks up the continuity. Okay, so season 5, episode 14. This one was alright. We'll talk about the Sheldon plot first, as always. So, I did like the first part of that episode where Dr. Linklater and Dr. Sturgis had a boxing match. That was a bit strange, but it was kind of enjoyable. I really was not expecting that at the beginning of this episode, but I was pleasantly surprised. But I do feel like it went on for a little bit too long there, so yeah, I'm just gonna take off points for that. So basically, most of the episode is just Dr. Sturges and Dr. Linklater fighting and all that, and I mean, this is really when it starts to get old. Like, I'm just not really that big of a fan of it. This episode and episode 18, I'm just really not enjoying Sturgis and Linklater at all. It just kind of gets old at this point, just bickering all the time. It's not funny. I actually kind of like them individually. I like Linklater back in season 4. I thought it was kind of I think his interactions with Sheldon were always kind of funny, and I've loved Dr. Sturgis in the first 4 seasons, but yeah, they're starting to get old. Well, actually, they started to get old years ago, but the characters are starting to get old. You know, it means the same thing. I don't know how to say I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, they're always arguing and stuff, and then President Higginmeyer makes them all in charge, makes each of them think that it's just them in charge, and yeah, that ends up going as you would think, and it's all right. But then she decides to get someone new on the job. Okay, Ming-Na Wen plays Dr. Carol Lee here, so that's cool. She plays Finnick Shand in the Book of Boba Fett, so it was nice to see her here. Someone that I recognize. But I think the problem is that I don't really like Ming-Na Wen as an actor. I didn't really feel like she had really did play the role that well as Finnick Shand in the Book of Boba Fett. Okay, I kind of feel like her performance was stale. So yeah, this is kind of awkward. Okay, I mean she's all right in this episode. I guess she's fine. I did actually like the end of it there when she was talking with Dr. Hagemeyer, with President Hagemeyer. Thought it was nice, and Sheldon was trying to break into the university, and yeah, that didn't really go too well for him, did it? We got to see some interesting facts about the characters and all that. I do wonder if Dr. Lee will return in some point of the series. Is she just a one-off character or not? I thought she might appear in the following episode, but no. She doesn't. So I guess she's after working on the series, I guess. But yeah, I'm not really that disappointed that she's gone, though. However, overall, this plot was fine. Okay. Yeah, this is part about the episode, the one where Mary wins a lotto ticket and she's just being a big bitch. I don't like this part about the episode. Okay, why is Mary so angry about getting a lotto ticket? It was free, goddammit! Jesus bloody Christ, man, it just annoys me so much. Why does God care if you got a free lotto ticket? Okay, even if you just put in a bit of money just to get the lotto ticket, I don't really feel like that's really gambling. It's just a lotto, like, come on. Okay, even if you would be angry, you got it free, you didn't pay anything. It is just so bloody stupid, honestly. Whatever, and then she throws it in the bin, and then she ends up kind of getting it later. It's just so annoying, and then her and George end up fighting about it. So yeah, great. Second episode in the row that Mary and George are having a big fight. Woo! You know, George mentions the stuff that happened in episode 11, where he went to the lock-in and he saw Mary hanging out with Pastor Rob, and yeah, she can have fun without him. She can have fun, okay? She's never willing to, like, open up, you know, in front of George. You know, sometimes it feels like Mary isn't even trying to hold this marriage together. I did not like this episode. It was terrible. I don't care. It's a stupid lotto ticket. I don't know why though this is a part of the episode. I did not like this at all. Oh, not only was the Sheldon plot pretty mediocre, but this one just... God. Jesus Christ, man. Like, this is basically episode 12, okay? We have a pretty mediocre, like, below mediocre Sheldon plot, and then we have an even worse Mary plot. Actually, technically, this is like the third bad Sheldon, pretty poor Sheldon plot in the row, and I'm not going to count the one from episode 11, because, I mean, it wasn't terrible. Whatever, it's bad. Sheldon plot definitely better. Let's move on. Oh, actually, there was one part about it I do like. I did like how they just ended up buying a dishwasher at the end of it. I don't know why George was happy about that. Why was everyone happy about that? Why did Georgie come over? Everyone was happy about it except Missy. I thought it was actually kind of funny. So season 5 episode 15 kind of breaks the mold here, and the Sheldon plot isn't unbearable. Though I really don't think we should have gotten 2 Sturges and linked other episodes in a row. Like, really, like maybe they should have put season 5 episode 16 in this slot, and then episode 15 could then be the new episode 16. I mean, maybe they should have done that, but whatever. I don't really care. Yeah, whatever. They're going on a road trip to get to somewhere. I don't know, because of the project they were doing for some reason. I don't know. It was cool to see Dr. Sturges drive, but I mean, it does kind of bring up a kind of an issue here with continuity again. In season 11, and one of the earlier seasons, when Sheldon and Howard are going to go up to and explode like a model rocket, Sheldon does this exact same thing as Dr. Sturges, and he never thought that, hey, last time someone did this, it didn't really end up that well, okay? Him and Dr. Sturges are pretty similar, so when Dr. Sturges did this, it didn't really go very well. They ran over this bird. So Sheldon, years later, does the exact same thing. It didn't really end up going that well from there either, so come on, Sheldon. Did they really not think about this? Or was this like an Easter egg, kind of like a referencing season 11? Oh, God. Whatever, so Dr. Sturges is looking after this bird for some reason. I don't know, because he loves the nature, Dr. Sturges. He loves that kind of stuff. But what's kind of a part that it was like, I don't know, it just kind of cut to me a little bit, like when Dr. Sturges kind of like yelled at Sheldon for a bit. It was just, I don't know, man, it just kind of felt weird. Like, Dr. Sturges and Sheldon have interacted this season, but it just kind of hasn't really felt right. You know, Linklater's been there, so it hasn't just been just the two of them, and it just kind of feels weird. Kind of feels like that connection is just lost. You know, that's a pity, but whatever. They go to this bar, okay, and they end up trying to tend to the the bird that's injured and everything. At first, the bartender was like, it was wondering what the fuck was going on. And we didn't really want them to be there, understandably, whatever. So then Sheldon says, we're texting, be friendly, So then they're allowed to stay. And unfortunately, the bird, it didn't make it. We're just gonna leave 10 seconds, guys. We need to mourn for the bird, okay? I will remember. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Whatever. So yeah, this was all right. Okay, you know what? The more I think about it, yeah, this is kind of the fourth a pretty mediocre Sheldon plot in a row. I mean, he wasn't really nothing that great, to be honest. It was kind of blah. I mean, we lost the bird, guys. Okay, and honestly, that's just hurtful. Okay, it was my favorite character in the episode. But good news, this is the weakest of the 3 plots in the episode, so we're going to be talking about some the other few that are thankfully better. So, a little plot, we see Mandy again, okay, for the second time, so that's great, and I also kind of forget what even happens in this episode. It kind of feels like the in-between, you know, it's not episode 11 where they meet for the first time and go on the first date and everything. And it's not the third episode or onwards where everything is kicking off, you know, and you know what I mean. So of course in episode 17 he comes clean to Mandy and everything. So yeah, in episode 15 is kind of in between, and there's a bit of hanging out, him going to Mandy's place and him talking to Dale about, you know, the smooching. That's all I'm gonna say. And you know what, thinking about it, yeah, Dale kind of caused the pregnancy. He said it was fine for Georgia to do everything, and then Nemo was like, nah. You know, no, she was like, nah. Okay, I don't want great grandchildren. Oh, Mima, yeah. This is not your day. So yeah, so when Georgie was taking off all of his clothes and trying to take off Mandy's clothes, and the thing, you know, the I don't know what to say. You know, we saw like illusions of Mima and Dale about talking to him about like, don't do this, and Dale's like, I'll let him do it. Like, why the fuck not? I like how they just both disappeared once Mandy took her shirt off. And that was funny, guys. That was comedy. I also love the beginning when Geordie was trying to intervene Mandy and Mima talking. I do like their dynamic. It was kind of cool. I do like their dynamic. I like the dynamic from season 5, episode 19 onwards. So we'll talk about that later. feel like I say that a lot, guys. Do I say that a lot? Do I delay things a lot? Because I feel like I'm just always like bringing things up for the future. Maybe I should stop doing that. Bring things up when I actually get to them. Guys, Mandy moves house. Is trying to move somewhere in the new house in season 6, episode 3. I'm gonna bring that up now. Yeah, guys, it'll be in the season 6 retrospective, which will be in another year's time once the whole season has been finished. Oh yeah, I can't wait to then, guys. It is always fun trying to see Georgie keep his secret together and all that. Okay, and I guess he does reveal a little bit to Mandy here. He reveals that he didn't really fully move out of his parents' house. He's just living in the bloody garage like a bitch. Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted whether or not I actually like this plot or the other one more. But whatever. I guess we'll talk about that when I get to it. Whatever. Let's move on. Why did I get so angry? Okay, so the third plot is the one with Missy and George, which I actually really liked, and it kind of does connect at the beginning to the Sheldon plot, where of course he's going on the trip with Dr. Linkletter and Dr. Sturgis, but Missy wasn't even allowed to go on the trip with her friends to the beach, which I thought was pretty unfair. Okay, Mary had absolutely no problem with Sheldon going with Dr. Linkletter and Dr. Sturgis. Sheldon gets to go anywhere. Okay, and he gets a lot. But Missy wasn't even able to go on a police school trip, really. It was kind of sad. So yeah, and George decided to take Missy out to the Red Lobster, for the evening. It was actually really nice. Okay, I do actually really like the connection that Missy and George have in these later seasons. And George thinks it's going to be back like in season 1, episode 21, where they just went to the Red Lobster. They had a great time, great father and daughter bonding moment. But no, Missy ends up kind of being annoyed because all of her friends are there. And, you're gonna embarrass me, Dad. So they end up just getting a few burgers and just sitting in the car and eating them. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. But I actually like the part where Missy kind of learns how to drive. That was really fun. Yeah, okay. Just again, great bonding moment. Okay. Who knows? Maybe even Missy even crashed that car and killed both Missy and George at the end. Who knows? Maybe she was speeding it though. Like seriously, just whoa. Oh man, just great to be honest. I don't know. I might just put a little bit above the Georgie and Mandy plot, just because the Georgie and Mandy didn't like really progress that much. I mean, yeah, they did the thing for the first time, but we didn't need to know that. But next Georgie and Mandy episode is gonna be great. Few episodes time, it's gonna be episode 100, so you know it's gonna be a banger. Yeah, okay, let's move on. Okay, so season 5, episode 16. We're gonna talk about the beginning of it first because it is pretty amazing. We get a lot of Sheldon and Amy interactions here. Probably put the best voice cameo on the show. Definitely. It definitely rivals her first cameo, okay? Where she revealed that the name of Sheldon and Amy's child. Well, one of them. Because then the season 1 finale, it was revealed that he had multiple of them. And Jesus Christ, no, show. I don't know. I just love the scene. Okay, it was pretty good. Seeing Amy back in the role again, it was great. I thought it was a pretty good intro to start the episode and all that. It was kind of weird how they didn't have this at the beginning of season 5, episode 17, at the 100th episode of the show, but I guess they kind of wanted the 100th episode to like stand on its own, kind of be its own thing, not be linked to the Big Bang Theory, has to stand on its own. Great to see Amy and Sheldon back again and together on screen. It's great. So basically, the plot of the episode is that Mima has some money. Are you expecting there to be more? Okay, yeah. She has a lot of money within the gambling room and the laundromat and all that. Especially just a gambling room. I don't think the laundromat really earns that much money. So she gives some money to Sheldon and Missy. So that's great. Then we see the entire episode with them just trying to spend the money in productive ways. It was pretty fun. Okay, yeah. You know what I mean? Sheldon tries to buy stocks in like Radio Shack. Okay, and trying to make Radio Shack like a big mega store or something. That didn't really end up going too well. Not one of Sheldon's smartest moments, but this really does not take that much time with the episode, so I mean it's not bad. So we finally broken the curve. Wow. I mean it still wasn't amazing, so. But we won't count it, guys. Okay. This is one of the only times where Sheldon actually wants to go to church as well. Like that's insane. But Mary did not savor the moment, like Sheldon said, so he got let down. And so Missy creates like cotton candy, like a cotton candy business, and sells all the cotton. Was going to sell those cotton candy at school, and I like how Georgie was going to help Missy out with that. He has some experience since he literally had a plot in season 3 about selling candy. Missy was going to actually just give it the cotton candy to her friends for free. Idiot. But no, you gotta make a profit off of it. So yeah, she makes different flavors and all that, and yeah. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think cotton candy is a bit annoying because like it's something in it. You just bite into this cloud and it just disintegrates in your mouth. It's like you're biting into nothing. Cotton candy review coming at the Shorts channel very soon. Just kidding. Well, I mean food reviews. New channel? Okay, I'm spiraling. Okay, so basically, Missy's business ends up getting shut down because, insects, they kind of ransack the place. So, yeah, that's the end of that, Missy. Suck it. So, what is Mima getting up to? She's getting dumped. What is brutal. But that's basically what's going on. Mima buys this new yellow car, and Dale's not okay with it. Mima's going. She's buying loads of bully stuff, and Dale's like, "No, I don't want you to buy your stuff." So basically, he's being a big bitch. Now he wants to retire and go traveling for some reason. I don't know. It kind of feels like a big switch in his character, but whatever. They had to break up at the end because, I guess they didn't want to. To be honest, so far in season 5, I really wasn't really enjoying Mima and Dale's relationship. It really doesn't feel like it was going anywhere, so I'm kind of glad they cut the cord on it. And they might do something else with Mima's love life in season 6 if they have the time, because of course there's a lot going on in the series right now, so yeah, hopefully they can do something with it. When this episode dropped, I was really excited to see Mima and Dr. Sturgis maybe get back together, but episode 18 has kind of shot that my hopes and dreams in the foot. If that making any sense? Yeah, whatever. Let's move on. Also, George is up to stuff in this episode. Yeah, well, we're gonna continue. They said, sure, we'll continue that plot of him losing his job. That is what they said, and that's what they did. I actually really enjoyed this episode, so yeah, things are not really going well with the boosters, so he decides to go get a new job, decides to go be a coach at the university, because back in season 3, I think Dr. Sturgis said that George could be a coach at the university and look after Sheldon. So, I'm kind of confused. The thing about why didn't he just take up that job? When Sheldon went to college, why didn't he just quit the job at the high school and went there? Why didn't he at least try to do that? That's a bit weird, whatever. But it turns out that they don't really have a football team anymore, but they have soccer. But George is not a soccer kind of guy. He's a football kind of guy, So he's not having any of that, okay? I really enjoyed seeing George's struggle. He's just great, okay? Anyway, he gets a job at Dale's store, though, okay? Georgie doesn't actually work there anymore, so it's not like they're going to be working together. Okay, I'm just saying it's really, really cool. I love seeing George and Dale interact. They interacted earlier on the season and in season 3. Didn't really interact at all in season 4, though. It was kind of weird. Pretty cool seeing him working in at the retail zone, and one of the boosters actually saw him during work, and that was actually kind of a funny interaction. It was just kind of weird, okay? Georgie worked there for a few years, and of course he's a teenager, so it was actually a pretty good job for him, but just kind of feels a bit sad seeing George work there, a bit surreal, especially because of season 4, episode 8, where he was really annoyed at Georgie for skipping out school and football to work at Dale's store, and now he's working there. That's just weird. And yeah, he continues working there for the rest of the season, and he's probably going to be working there for most of season 6. Best part of the episode. Okay, season 5, episode 7, the return of Paige here again, for the 100th episode of the show. Yeah, the Big Bang Theory 100th episode was one of the best episodes of the show, in my opinion. So how was the 100th episode of Young Sheldon gonna hold up against that? Well, we'll just have to see. Okay, first plot we're going to cover, though, is page one, as I just said. Paige is here with her new look, as always. Our last page plot was not my favorite anyway, definitely not. So yeah, there was a lot of writing on this one, I guess, kind of, and it's definitely the most deep one of Sheldon plots this season. I mean, deep, kind of story driven and pretty dark. It kind of feels weird and a little bit kind of feels it just feels a little bit strange. Okay, so Paige is kind of lonely when she's here at the college and doesn't really know what her life is going to be like anymore. So she tries to bunk in Sheldon's dorm. That sounds really weird. Does it sound weird? Because I mean, okay, well, tries to. I mean, not immediately, guys. Okay. Oh, Oscar and Darren are here again. So yeah. And they did mention the girl from the episode 13, I guess, kind of. But it's fine that they just mentioned her, I guess. Your Paige kind of feels a little bit sad. I kind of like the first scene, it's kind of classic Paige and Sheldon rivalry. But then for the rest of the episode, but then for the rest of the Paige scenes, it just kind of for being sad. So Paige ends up going crying to Sheldon's dorm in the middle of them playing video games. Rude Paige, like, what the hell? Kind of feels like in the Big Bang, where like everyone's telling Sheldon like, "Hey, my God, you should go after him." And Sheldon's like, "What? No." Yeah, so Sheldon doesn't really understand, even though Sheldon doesn't understand Paige's situation, even though Paige thinks Sheldon does. I don't understand, like, how is she not making friends? Like, why can't you just stay in a regular like school? I mean, she made friends with Missy, okay, but then again, it's not really a big flex. I mean, Missy is very social. I don't understand. I feel like it's not really in her character to be like struggling this much. So yeah, Sheldon is going to let Paige stay in his dorm for a while, and he asked Missy about some like stuff to get her, and then Missy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell mom." Missy the blue snitch. So then Mary, Sheldon, and Missy go to the dorm to see how Paige is going, but then she leaves them a suicide note. Just kidding. We were all thinking about that, weren't we? No, she ended up just going back to her mom's and all that. So I don't really know what was going on there. I'm really interested if we're gonna get any more of these Page episodes. I'm presuming we are, because I feel like the story is unfinished. It would be kind of a sad way to end it off, though, wouldn't it? Just pretty sad. Okay. Yeah, I would like to get finish her story off. I am making a Big Bang Theory season 13 and 14 script now. When Young Sheldon finishes, and I will probably edit Paige into one of those, put Paige into this show, but that'll be in the far future, because I want to see how her story turns out in Young Sheldon, because of course the show wasn't finished yet. It is pretty interesting, okay, and I did like the part where Sheldon was talking over Jim Parsons, that part. It was really, really cool. It was a nice cycle into the very ending scene with the big plot twist that I'll talk about later. Well, my favorite God, I don't know what do you call it. It was like some of the season 4 ones. It's just really, really good. And although we didn't get like another Big Bang Theory actor back again, it's all right. Okay, we got Amy talking for like 2 straight minutes last episode, so we're fine. Whatever. Let's go on to move on to the other plots, because there's like two others, and I've been talking about this one for 4 minutes already. God damn it, this video's gonna be so long. Okay, the other plot is that Mima and Dale, of course, going through the breakup in the last episode, and Mima's dumping all of her relationship troubles on Missy, and Mary's not okay with that because, Mary's a bitch, we all know that. Whatever, I don't really see the problem here, but it was actually nice to see her sewing again. I like that they brought that back, but also I just kind of want to ask, why? It didn't really go well for you last time, this time last season, so why are you doing it again? But whatever, Mary, you do you. Bear sewing is terrible. So yeah, for some reason, Mary takes out Mima for a drink. Like, for some reason, why? Why did she do that? I did think it was actually a really nice chat that the two had and everything, but why? I just don't understand. Like, Mima said, "Oh my God, you can't have fun," blah, 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 and then Mary bowed to peer pressure. I don't understand, okay? Surely Mimon's probably tried this trick in the past. I don't think Mary doesn't go drinking that often, does she? Oh, whatever. It was just strange to me, man. It just didn't feel right. So I guess it was nice to see both Mima and Dale's kind of both different sides of the relationship and how they both kind of dealt with it. I thought that was actually pretty nice. We didn't exactly get it with Mima and Sturgis. Mima acted very different in her last breakup though. She was like sulking all over and she was like walking all over her house in in just pajamas and just getting Georgie to bring her beer. But this time she's like ignoring any emotion and actually carrying on with her life. Didn't really get to see Dr. Sturgis. Much of Dr. Sturgis is dealing with the breakup, but whatever. We get to see Dale's reaction to the breakup. He just keeps wabbering on about it to George. Okay, I don't know why he has such a big problem with like punching the thing. Okay, he just keeps talking. Dale, can you shut the fuck up, please? So we did like the big dinner scene where everyone was getting was talking and everything, and yeah, Sheldon unloads his problem about Paige. Georgie was talking about him and Mandy. We'll get to in a few minutes. And of course, George and Mima and Mary were all arguing about the breakup and all that, and it was fun. And this plot doesn't really have a big an end to it, though. Like, they just Mary and George was like, oh sure, we could swap, okay? I'll do the dishes and you go out with Dale. Mary said no, and then Missy interrupted us with the news about Paige. So it doesn't really feel finished. It was never really picked up again either. I mean, we get the next episode with Mima and just Sturgis and Linklater, but after that, then we kind of don't really focus on Mima's love life because there's a little bit too much going on in the story afterwards. With the whole pregnancy thing, so we don't really get to pick up that storyline. I'm hoping we revisit the breakup plot line in season 6 though. Like, I feel like Mima has to be dating someone, right? I do want to get her to get back together with Sturgis, but maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe Mima's just going to stay single for the season. I don't know. I mean, first episode is just her, getting arrested. So, and the final plot we're going to be talking about is the Mandy plot. Okay, so the few episodes, they met, they did the thing, and now the truth. So yeah, this episode, Georgie does actually reveal to Mandy that he is actually 17 and not 21, so technically there is a 12-year age difference between them. And of course, Mandy actually doesn't really act it well. She's like, oh, sure, I'm fine with dating a 17-year-old. No, just kidding, she absolutely freaks out. It was pretty fun seeing Mandy's freaking out, and Sheldon's and Georgie's like, what's the big deal, okay? It's only a 12-year age difference. Yeah, okay. The weird episode, Georgie is just kind of like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't understand, Georgie. Come on, like, even I know what a big deal that is. It was pretty intense though when you actually reveal the truth. Like, you can just feel the tension in the scene though. I think they did it really, really well. Probably one of the best scenes in the episode. I'm pretty sure it is the best scene in the episode. Just the build up to that. Like, you knew what's coming, you could feel the weight of it and how Mandy was gonna freak the fuck out. A pretty good scene, though. It's weirdly, though, it kind of gets the least amount of attention in the episode. Even though it's, not the most relevant to the show's overall plotline, but whatever. So, Mandy freaks the F out and goes into the laundromat and gets really, really angry. Okay, Mima's hungover, so she's not having a good day. She absolutely freaks out though, like, Jesus Christ, man. I do like the conversation that Mimo and Georgie do have between each other, and it's kind of the thing that hit Georgie, like the thing. Mimo said that, like, hey, what if someone did that to your sister? That's pretty heavy. So that's when Georgie actually realizes the severeness of what he actually did. Okay, and he's just looking all sad about it, and yeah. And then the final scene where Mandy's pregnant. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, we've been building up to that all video, okay? Yeah. Now, how do I actually feel about the pregnancy? Well, my feelings are very complex. I was actually going to make my own video on the whole pregnancy topic as a whole because I actually have a lot to. I was going to have a lot to say about it, but yeah, there's time constraints and all that. I just wasn't able to put the video together this summer, guys. I'm really sorry. But yeah, overall, I was gonna say how this was a bad thing, but honestly, it's really interesting to see, and I'm really, really interested to see how it's gonna go. Basically, the reasons why I said it wasn't a very good idea is because Mary and George really made the same mistake, and it just kind of felt like history was repeating itself with having Georgie just have his own kid, and how that it kind of ruined season 3 episode 16 where I thought Mary and George really had the nice moment, but then again, I mean, early season 4 kind of already ruined that episode with Georgie and what's her name, Jana, getting the pregnancy test. So of course they did the thing. So whatever. To be honest, at this point, I'm just fine with it. Let's move on. Okay, so season 5, episode 18. We're going to start off with the plot with the book club. The Isaac Asimov book club. Now, when the plot synopsis of the episode came out and everyone saw that Sheldon was going to deal with the death of a hero, no one expected it to be Isaac Asimov. I mean, some people thought it was going to be Dr. Sturgis, but thankfully it wasn't Dr. Sturgis. It feels like it would be a little bit too sudden for Sturgis to just die, especially because that would have been planned, because, Wallace Shawn is still alive. Though it does worry me, like, what if Wallace Shawn does actually just die in the middle of the series, and you just kind of have to kill Dr. Sturgis off, like they did with Mrs. Wolowitz? That's kind of scary to me. Same with a lot of other old characters. I mean, what if the actor that plays Mima, Annie Potts, what if she dies in the middle of the series? They can't kill her off. Whatever, I'm rambling. So yeah, Isaac Asimov was pretty disappointing for a plot. A hero really. Isaac Asimov, he's just a book writer or whatever. I don't even like books. They've way too much words in them. And apparently it was Pop Pop's favorite book writer author. So that means Mima's dead husband. So that's a thing. Now, this part of the episode would have been fine if it wasn't for something that happened at the end. It's another one of those typical Sheldon plots that's just really mediocre, like we've gotten at other points during the season. Okay, it would have been harmless, fine. Okay, but the thing they do in this episode, it just wasn't really great. That wasn't great. But first of all, why would Dr. Linkler want to join this book club with Sheldon? Why would he want to do this? This is a bit weird. And I'm continuing to be baffled why Dr. Sturgis is just here, but he's not even working at the university anymore. Like, it's just so weird. What are they doing with his character? They had a story arc with him, and they just dropped it, and I don't know what they're doing. Like, they should really pick up what they're doing with Dr. Sturgis in season 6, okay? They should really give him an arc, give him something new. Because I continue to be outraged at what's happening to him this season. Whatever. Let's actually go to the part of the spot I don't like. So basically, Mima says, and that Sheldon mentions that her and Dale broke up, and then Linklater and Dr. Sturgis turn into two horny bitches. I'm not overreacting. That's just what happens. Now, I'll be fine if it's just Dr. Linklater doing this, because we all know Linklater, okay? He was a horny bitch from the beginning. That was his original character trait. And they kind of pushed that aside to him just being annoyed at Sheldon all the time, which I was fine with, because I thought that was actually pretty funny in season 4. I always thought that he was a good character back then. But season 5 kind of ruined him a little bit when they just kind of paired him with Dr. Sturgis all the bloody time. But I don't really understand why Sturgis is just so in love with getting Mima back. Okay, it just feels weird. It just kind of ruins their dynamic in a way. Remember how meaningful the relationship was back in season 1 and 2 and even 3, okay? And how their breakup was and everything that they went through, okay? And even like last season, in season 4, okay, episode 17, okay? Kind of still felt like they had a connection. But here they just threw all of that out the window and just kind of had Sturgis and Linklater be equally annoying and horny. I did not like this. I did not like it in the slightest. Okay, especially because they sent loads and loads of voicemail messages and all that. This is the latest we've seen of Dr. Sturgis, and I don't think he's going to be appearing in the first 3 episodes of season 6. I feel like he doesn't really have a place here. Especially in the first episode. I don't know, man. I don't even know if the college is even going to show up in the first few episodes. So I really do hope they just fix Dr. Sturgis in the next season. Okay, now on to the other two plots. Okay, and we'll keep the Georgie one for last because it's the most relevant and that carries on into the next episode. So we'll just keep that to the end. Okay. Now again, when I first heard the plot synopsis for this episode, when Missy's going to try to learn how to take care of babies. Well, Missy's gonna learn how to babysit. I thought that was gonna be in preparation for Georgie having his baby, but I guess I presume that things will be moving on way too quickly in this season. Because it took until literally 2 episodes later for them to even realize that Georgie got pregnant. But instead, this episode is just used to kind of guilt trip Georgie a little bit at the end. I feel like that's like the only reason why it's here. But still, it's just a little bit entertaining. It's fine. But I do have kind of the same problem as back in season 4, episode 9, where Missy wanted to go to a school dance and she had to argue with Mary a lot, and then Georgie finally convinced Mary to let her go, and we never even got to see the fucking dance. That's what the episode was leading to, and we never got to see it. This is the exact same thing. Wouldn't it be just cool to at least get one scene at the dance, or one scene here with Missy over Pastor Jeff's house? But no, they would have probably had to build a new set for Pastor Jeff's house. So no, they can't do that. They could just build a new room at least, okay? One room. Whatever. I mean, it's always fun to see Misty and Mary argue a little bit, okay? Because it's fun. And yeah, it's kind of satisfying to see that, and actually kind of finally see that Missy does kind of realize that Mary is sometimes right. She's not always right. Mary is kind of wrong in a lot of situations. And well, Missy gets really messed up after she goes out to babysit. And Mary actually lies in this episode, okay? She lies to Pastor Jeff that Missy would not want to babysit. And she lies. Mary Cooper lies? Insane. Anyways, Missy gets really, really messed up, and it was kind of really good Chip and Georgie right there, okay? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I would not imagine, I would not like to be Georgie right now. Yeah. It is kind of sad, though, that Missy's probably going to have to babysit a lot more now. It's not over for you, Missy. You're connected to all that stuff that Georgie's baby. Yeah, okay. Well, now we're gonna just cycle into the next plot, the Georgie plot. The pregnant Georgie's. What I don't know what to say. So yeah, the Georgie plot. Yeah. So Mandy's pregnant. Okay, we're fully into it now. I've been teasing it for a long time now. I did talk about it 7 minutes ago, so I feel like now I'm bringing it up like it's a new thing that I haven't talked about before. Why am I doing this? I do like the scene where he was like, yeah, maybe they babysitted yours, okay? Did you take a second test? He just coming up with so much excuses as to why maybe the baby isn't his. And this is a scary moment for Georgie. I do like how we went to Dale first, because I kind of shows the relationship they had, because we didn't get to see like a lot of it, I guess. But here we can see that Dale was kind of someone that he could trust, which is kind of obvious because Dale kind of underreacts to a lot of things. And although he does tell Georgie to sit and to take it seriously when Mandy's pregnant, he doesn't really overreact in a way. He kind of just, he tries to help Georgie, okay? And now, yes, Dale probably should be held a bit responsible because, he didn't really see any problem with him dating Mandy, so technically this is his fault. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't think Dale is ever gonna get repercussions for that. This is the latest we've seen from Dale, so I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna be really gonna appear much in season 6 anyway. Other than maybe George working at the store, maybe Dale just showing up. I'm pretty sure he probably will show up, probably on and off though as well. But just George working at the Ballard shop. Fuck me. And now we actually see that Georgie's intentions to marry Mandy. Okay, yeah, and this will definitely we're going to talk about this a little bit more in the next episode. But yeah, Georgie, what are you doing? I don't understand why you would want to do this. I don't know why you think that Mandy would want to do this. I don't know. Georgie is kind of a little bit kind of stupid in a few ways. Like you can just see him just like this guy is not smart. Feels like he's a lot to learn, but whatever. My favorite scene of the episode is definitely this one, where George just absolutely goes crazy. Like seriously, this is what Georgie imagines George being like. I just find it absolutely hilarious. Like I saw this clip on Reddit and I was just laughing seriously, man. You can feel the tension of the scene. This one and the one where Georgie actually tells George. Just he gets him goes crazy, smashes the cash register on the glass and rips his shirt. Jesus Christ, man! And the hello he says after Georgie like snaps out of it. Hello. And George actually kind of asks Dale a bit of stuff and like what's going on with Georgie and all that. And I did like the scene where Dale was calling George, and then George came into his office, I think, and he said, "Bye, Mom." That was hilarious. I wouldn't say Dale's mother is still alive. Man, in my opinion, that was just hilarious. But just at the very end of the episode, Georgie finally tells George about the pregnancy, and it's kind of a bit annoying that for the whole episode he's just building up to it, and then we don't even get to see George's reaction. We just see his face drop, okay? All the build up, we don't even get to see his reaction. We get to see the reactions in season 5, episode 19. So yeah, okay. I did like this plot though, the best out of this episode. So yeah, let's move on to the next episode, guys. So now in season 5, episode 19, George freaks out, and yeah. So Georgie tells both of his parents, and it is pretty insane, man. I just love seeing their reaction. Just like they just really freak out. Like seriously, in a way, I kind of feel like this whole series has been building to this moment. Even though Mandy's only been introduced recently, and Georgie's only gotten a girl pregnant in the last few episodes, pregnancy's always been a theme that's brought up a lot on the show. Like early pregnancy, of course, since Mary got pregnant at a young age, and the show just keeps mentioning it. They always keep mentioning the fact that Georgie could eventually get a girl pregnant or something, and it gets brought up a lot on the show, but we've never actually seen the parents really react to this kind of moment, and we do in this episode. So, I mean, the show was kind of building to this moment. We never actually knew that it was, because it feels like it has been mentioned so much that, it just we would feel a little bit lazy to eventually do it. That's another problem with Georgie getting pregnant. Or not Georgie getting pregnant, Georgie getting a girl pregnant. How would Georgie get pregnant? Do you like the scene when the mother comes in and George is like, Georgie has something to tell you, and then Mary just looks at him and oh my god. Now I was really expecting George to pull out his regular catchphrase. Are you kidding me? We all know that's the George gets pissed phrase. But I was surprised that Mary was the one to say it here. Okay. I feel like George just forgot the catchphrase. He was so shocked. He just said, "Oh no." You know what they should have said? "Oh no, here we go again." Oh god, that sums up the situation perfectly. We get a lot of information in this first scene that kind of continues throughout the episode. So Georgie, of course, wants to marry Mandy, and later we find out that Mandy doesn't want to marry Georgie for obvious reasons. But Mary does want Georgie to get married because, of course, you can't just have a kid out of wedlock, obviously. And George doesn't want them to get married, so it kind of feels like it's kind of even 2v2. Yeah. Before we go on further, guys, I just want to say that we're probably going to be covering this episode a little bit differently because there's only like one plot. It kind of feels weird. I'm just gonna go scene by scene here. And probably for this episode, next episode, and the episode after that. Because it kind of feels like just one plot, and I guess the Missy and Sheldon stuff kind of feels like it's a little bit different, but like it kind of just does kind of feel like it's just one consistent plot. So yeah. Whatever. There's a lot to talk about in this scene, okay? And yeah, 3 minutes all to one scene. Are you kidding me? But whatever. Let's move on. So George can't sleep, and here they can Mary, and she's like outside smoking, and George catches her. Oh my god! Wow, big shit. In here, we kind of find out what Mary's real, I guess, intentions are. She doesn't really care about the whole marriage shit. I don't think she really cares about getting out about the proper stuff. She just doesn't want to lose her reputation. That's the only reason she wants Georgie to get married, and it's kind of selfish, to be honest, and it kind of makes me think less of Mary. I don't think you should rush into marriage, and okay, what is even the big deal about having a child outside of marriage? Like, what's the big deal? I think getting married on a whim is not a very good idea, and Mary knows that her and George's marriage has not been the best recently, so yeah, it didn't really work out for them. So I just don't understand. Okay, later on in the episode they have a really big fight. Okay, and Mary's does want to have the marriage, and to be honest, the marriage Georgie is probably end up going to marry Mandy. Okay, we found out earlier in season 1 of this show that Georgie gets married at age 19, and although that's a few years away, yeah. He's probably gonna marry Mandy, okay? So I'm pretty annoyed at Mary right here. It just doesn't really paint a good image in our character, so it's really annoying. So the next morning, Mary apologizes to Mima because, yeah, she understands the pain she had to put her through. And Mima kind of finds out on her own that Georgie knocked up Mandy. Seriously, I don't know why Mary wasn't more annoyed with Mima. But whatever. Actually, something I actually forgot to mention was talking about the season 5 episode 17. But why didn't Mary get more Anne Post? What? Don't worry, guys. They just seized my delivery because of an unpaid, because I didn't pay or whatever. I didn't pay for a parcel. I didn't pay €1.90. What are they talking about? Why am I getting the message? Mary basically found out about Mandy back at episode 17 of this season. Okay. Although Mary didn't know how much older the woman was, it still baffles me how Mary didn't like give out to Georgie more. She just like yelled at him once. That was it. So it's a little bit confusing. Whatever. I also do actually kind of find it funny when Missy and Sheldon just come in and just like suspect something. It's kind of funny. And Missy and Sheldon do actually start to suspect something and think it's about George's heart or something, and that something's going on with him. But no, they're wrong. Poo poo. And when George actually comes in to tell Sheldon and Misty to that he's going to bring them to school, he looks legitimately stressed. Like, you can just see him. He's not in a very good mood at all. There's something about his face. Like, I feel like they nailed that part of him to end this episode. I'm also surprised that Mary didn't get more angry at Meemaw for not telling Mary more information, but whatever. Or how Mary didn't ask Meemaw for more information. Like, seriously, I feel like they probably could have communicated better in episode 17 about this whole situation, but whatever. And then Georgie comes in and asks Mary why she told Mima, and I'm just kind of wondering, Georgie, like, it's your Mima. She's gonna find out. Why are you angry that she knows? She's not gonna be as angry, okay? She literally knows about you and Mandy anyway. I mean, she's not going to be as angry as them, and you know that. Mima is way more relaxed than Mary and George. See, I'm a little bit confused, whatever. So George brings Missy and Sheldon to school. Kind of an awkward scene, though. It's like they're just staring at him. Like what the hell, man? It's just a little bit weird, whatever. Let's go to the dinner scene, because yeah, pretty interesting. No. Let's go to the first dinner scene. The less intense dinner scene. So Brenda has to take in Georgie, and Brenda has to take care of Missy and Sheldon while Mandy is having dinner with the other Coopers, because of course they can't really be there in their conversation. Well, I mean they physically can, but whatever. I do like that Sheldon thought they were going to have spaghetti with hot dogs, and Brenda just said, ew. Just wow, that's harsh, Brenda. It's nice to see Brenda again. We haven't seen her in a while, and of course we see Billy, and I don't think we've seen him in a few episodes either. So I mean that's nice. That was a pretty nice part of the episode. I like how they thought that they were discussing how maybe George found someone a new lady, and like I thought that was hilarious. Just Brenda being so awkward, like seriously. Kind of weird how did they manage to squeeze how just managed to squeeze that plot in here. They didn't even need to mention the George and Brenda plot in this episode, but they do. I thought this hilarious, but this isn't a very big scene. There's not even much to discuss, but there's a lot to discuss in the other dinner scene. Okay, so yeah, the dinner scene. We're gonna talk about this now. Okay. There's a lot that goes on in this dinner scene. Okay, we learn that Mandy does not want to get married at all, and yeah, the whole dinner scene is kind of a little bit awkward. Just kind of it's kind of a bit. It's awkward. It's just weird. Okay, we understand why Mandy doesn't want to marry Georgie because he lied to her and got her pregnant and all that, and she's on the she's no yeah you know what I mean. And to be honest, George and Mary are pretty uneasy, and they get really, really mad at each other in this dinner scene. And yeah, we can just see their marriage just crumbling even more. Okay, because yeah, but I guess Mary is kind of right. No marriage is a bed of roses, George. It's a typical end of season fight for Mary and George. Well, yeah, it's a tradition now. Okay, the end of season 3, end of season 4, end of season 5. Not the end of season 1 and 2, I don't think. Yeah, so it's kind of awkward. It was really awkward for Mandy to hear just, seeing what was playing out. And Mary trying to probably push the whole, the wedding onto Mandy and stuff like that, and her really wanting the baby to be fucking Baptist. Mary, can you shut the fuck up? I hate when she got really angry and she just yelled at Manny saying that the baby should be Baptist. Like, come on, Mary, it's not your choice, okay? I don't give a damn if it's going to be your grandchild. It doesn't matter. You don't have a say in this. And also, Mandy has not told her parents yet. Yeah. She will tell them no. She does eventually tell them in a few episodes' time. She does, but when she does, she doesn't even tell them about how old Georgie is. So that's gonna be great. Yeah, and apparently they're not very nice people. I would like to meet them eventually. I think that would be pretty cool. Hopefully sometime in season 6, but then again, maybe we won't meet them at all in the series. But we've heard a lot about them, okay? And they're probably not very nice people. I don't really feel like they would be, especially the father. Whatever, very important dinner scene, and there's a pretty important connection that happens after. Also, Georgie getting over that kiss is just stupid. Like, come on, Mandy does not want to kiss you, okay? She just know how she did not want to marry you, and how she thought you were stupid, and how I never think so. Why would you think that Mandy would want to kiss you back? But I think the connection between Mima and Mandy was pretty special, okay, and how it does continue on into the end of this season, and in season 6, because the sneak peek we got of season 6, I haven't seen the full episode, even though, well, by the time this video comes out, the first episode of season 6 has already been out, but we can see that Mandy was like checking in on Connie and all that, so that was really nice. And I feel like the bond is pretty special. I really get to see this year. Of course, they did meet back in episode 11 of this season, but this is the first time we really get that connection. Yeah, and that hug is pretty special. Okay, kind of feels like Mima didn't really treat Mary that great when she got pregnant. She's gonna try to make things right and try to treat Mandy a little bit better. So yeah, that was pretty great. I'm really excited about where their relationship is gonna go. Okay, in the last part of this very long part of this review, Jesus Christ, man, this is going to end up being 15 minutes long. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry how long this video is taking, but okay. This part of the episode is where Georgie tells Mandy that he loves her, which is stupid. I just actually like seeing this diner area, and we're probably going to see it again just because I kind of feel like they're not just going to make a whole new set just for this. I mean, I guess it was cool. Like it was kind of an important scene, but they didn't really need to put it in here. But I really really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I do kind of forget that it exists sometimes. And I think it sets up a lot for like the next season when George is obviously going to be there for Mandy a lot in the next season. He's trying to try to be a good father, and he's telling her this. Okay, he wants to be there. Okay, which I think is actually pretty good for Georgie. Though telling Mandy he loves her was pretty stupid. Georgie, remember the last time where you said that you loved a girl? Remember that, Georgie. Remember that. Do kind of like that we didn't say he loved Jenna. I like that Jenna said I love you first because it kind of feels like that's the kind of the relationship they were in because Georgie the relationship was kind of a bit more one sided. Georgie didn't exactly love Jenna maybe. I mean, that's definitely what season three was trying to say, I guess. But then season four kind of put them back in an actual serious relationship, so it was a little bit weird. But whatever. George doesn't get punched in the face this time. So yeah, this is a pretty big episode, and there's no me saying which plot was better because I mean, it just kind of was one big plot, wasn't it? Kind of. It was crazy. Okay. So he's in season 5, episode 20. Sheldon and Missy kind of get to understand what's kind of going on. I mean, they guess that Mary is pregnant, which is not true. Which I actually kind of liked though, because it's kind of a reminder of season 2, episode 17, where Mary actually did get pregnant, but she did lose the baby. I mean, I got reminded of that episode. I don't know if they were actually nodding at that one, but maybe it was a reference or something. But maybe it wasn't. Just like I did actually like the tension between George and Mary, how they were trying to keep the secret, but away from the kids. It's always just pretty fun. Okay, you can just tell how stressed they are and how they're pretending to be happy. Yeah, so later they go over to Mimo's to say to ask her what's going on, and my favorite part was when when they were going in is like Sheldon actually asks if he wants to go in because that's just the kind of guy Sheldon is. So yeah, Mimo keeps the secret from them, but yeah, okay. Then they go back over to their parents' house, and they want answers. Also, Mary does talk to Pastor Jeff in this episode, and she kind of tells him about the situation, but doesn't tell him that it's Georgie that got the girl pregnant. She's just she says that it's just a girl and a boy that she knows. Which I thought it was kind of smart to do that just to see Pastor Jeff's opinions on it without him having a bias. And yeah, of course we're gonna discuss Pastor Jeff's betrayal in the review for the next episode. But here I guess you're gonna see a hint of that. He does say they're gonna be in for a rough time, and yeah, they are. I could just see Mary get stressed like with the conversation. Okay, she's just having such a hard time. So and Mary and George talking, of course, and George's like, "Oh my God, why did you tell Pastor Jeff?" Blah, 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 blah. But Mary does make a good point. Like people are gonna find out eventually, and yeah, this is what this whole end of season is about. The pregnancy and how the whole town kind of reacts to that. At least that's Mary and George's side of the story, definitely. So yeah, Missy and Sheldon come back in because they want to know what's going on. Okay, yeah. I was actually pretty surprised to see that Missy actually guessed right, and that Georgie is having the baby. But then again, I mean, this is pretty obvious. They were talking about this thing for years. Okay, the show is not afraid of talking about early pregnancies and all that. So yeah, yeah, okay. And I feel like George probably should have sworn this episode instead of saying fudge, like, bro. But you gotta keep it family friendly, okay? I just love how much George doesn't want to be at this family meeting. Okay, it's just really funny. See, Mary and George told about this family meeting that Georgie has gotten this girl Mandy pregnant. So yeah, they know now, and it was kind of weird at the end of the scene how they just kind of put into perspective how weird this is. Georgie and Mary are going to be grandparents. Sheldon's going to be an uncle. Missy's going to be bloody oh god aunt. The auntie, not the bug. And Mima's gonna be a great grandmother. What? Of course, yeah, and they have to keep this a secret though. I mean, Sheldon doesn't like keeping secrets, but whatever. Of course, everyone's gonna keep this a secret. So Sheldon ends up telling Dr. Linkletter about Georgie and everything, and Dr. Linkletter just really doesn't give it one shit. You can just tell he doesn't care, like, at all, man. Like, earlier in the series, I kind of feel like Dr. Linkletter is just a regular human that's just annoyed by Sheldon, but here he just doesn't even give a crap about anything. Doesn't care, doesn't want to help Sheldon through this moment at all. I did like the moment though where he locked Sheldon out of the door. We didn't actually get to see that, but we just saw him tell a few of his students to lock him out. So yeah, I wish we got to see that. Mary ends up telling Pastor Rob when they're out smoking, because that's just what they do now. Yeah, it's nice to see Pastor Rob again. That's pretty nice. The last time he appeared was back in episode 11 of this season, so that was 9 episodes ago. So yeah, he appears in this episode and the next episode, and kind of hypes us up. Okay, it kind of feels like they've known each other for a while. I feel like the friendship has probably grown a little bit since the last time. Yeah, and it's really I was pretty excited to see them interact. Also, so I think we just learned Pastor Rob's age, because Pastor Rob said he can go talk to Mandy because he's good with young people, and Mary said that she's 29, and Pastor Rob said he's good with people his own age. So that's really weird, because I'm pretty sure Mary is 42 in the series, because she's born in 1950, okay? I'm a big nerd for knowing that. So that means Mary is 42 and Pastor Rob is 29. That's really messed up. Mary and her son are both dating, let's say, in love with people that are the exact same age. That is just strange. And in both cases, the man is a lot younger than the woman. So yeah, this is just really, really strange, okay? Now maybe Pastor Rob was just exaggerating. Maybe he still is a few years older than Mandy. He's just saying that like he's around the same age group as Mandy. But then again, it could mean that he's younger. I thought Pastor Rob would be in his mid-30s. But I guess not. Fucking weirdo. It's kind of sad that Mary says that she's worried that the congregation will turn on her, and that's exactly what they do in early season 6. Like, seriously, it's just kind of depressing in a way. So, yeah, this is going to be season 6 is going to be really rough for Mary. And George tells Wayne, good old Wayne. Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Because Wayne doesn't have children, okay? And he said if he wanted to in the past. That's kind of weird. So Wayne doesn't have children, but George is going to have pretty grandchildren. Jesus. Just put it into perspective, guys. It's always nice. It's always really nice. Now, unfortunately, we don't actually get to see Missy at school to tell anyone about the Georgie's pregnancy, so it's a bit annoying, but whatever. I mean, we don't have to see her do that. I mean, it's fine, guys. Calm the fuck down. But yeah, Sheldon ends up spitting out that he told Dr. Linkletter about Georgie and everything, and yeah, it's expected from Sheldon, but it was kind of surprising that everyone else actually told someone, okay? And Georgie was pretty damn annoyed, okay? So he ran off to his room and all that cranky kid. Sheldon's a bitch. It was kind of sad. It feels like the family kind of betrayed Georgie in a way, but then again, I mean, he did get the girl pregnant, Georgie, so I mean, you can't really be that mad at everyone. You punch them, Georgie, they punch you back. Whatever. Anyway, I did really like the scene where Missy came into Georgie's room and they had talked for a bit. It was actually kind of nice. They kind of did. They always had kind of have that sibling connection there. It was really, really nice. I feel like nowadays Missy's the only one who can like really connect with every single member of the family. Now, at the time of this episode coming out, I probably would have said that she doesn't really connect well with Mary anymore. But I mean, in the next episode, we do kind of see her connect more with her. So I mean, yeah, I mean, Missy's a pretty good character in these episodes. I mean, I didn't really like her earlier on the season, but she's actually really grown on me towards the end of the season. She's just turning into a great character again. I also thought it was just so Missy, when she came back into the house and just the way she said the line. That was Missy. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. And George wants to know how Pastor Jeff took the news, but Mary didn't actually tell Pastor Jeff. She told Pastor Rob. So yeah, everyone's getting annoyed about that. If George and Mary have a big fight, because we need more drama. Like we don't get any of that anymore. Whatever. It was a fight. You expect me to talk? And to end off this episode, Mary is like hosting Bible study, I guess. Yeah, and no one ends up coming, so yeah. Overall, I thought this episode was good. Okay, maybe I probably should have said my more of my. Maybe I should have said more of my overall thoughts about episode 19 when I had the chance. Episode 19 was pretty good, okay, and episode 20 was pretty good, okay. They are actually some pretty good episodes at the end of this season. But I think the kind of the drama and all the stuff hits at an all time high in episode 21. Like seriously, man, I think this is it's the most drama we've had in a penultimate episode of the show, definitely so far. Also, then Mary calling Pastor Rob at the end was pretty cool. Okay, it kind of feels like that's the only one she has left, the only person she has left anymore. Okay, so season 5, episode 21. The opening scene here: Missy comes into Sunday school and punches someone for making fun of their family. Good old Missy standing up for everyone. I actually kind of like Missy in these last few episodes. Definitely pretty cool. And I thought it was cute how Billy kind of stood up with her. That was great. Billy always supporting Missy. Almost a lot of that kind of make me forget that Billy was supposed to be like Sheldon's bully. Back in the Big Bang Theory, just kind of weird. But yeah, Bachelor was busy talking to Mary, so he wasn't even in the classroom. So yeah, but that guy was a fucking bitch. So yeah, I'm pretty glad that Missy finally punched him in the face. And yes, we do have to talk about the big purple elephant in the room. His name is Walter. Also, this scene, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. This is where things really get hyped up, okay? Hyped up? What am I talking about? Pastor Rob and George finally meet, formally. So it's a pretty intense scene, okay? Mary didn't even realize that they hadn't even met. It was, yeah, so basically, yeah. Mary thinks that Pastor Jess would be do a service talking about forgiveness and all that. And that would have been nice, okay, to hear from church. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to the service if I was living in this town. Because I don't like church. But, it sounded nice, but Pastor Jeff's like, fuck that. And here's where the big thing comes in. Pastor Jeff says that Mary and Mary should take a break from the church and all that and stay at home. Yeah. This was a big shock to me, okay? Seriously. Pastor Jeff is being, of course, he did provide Mary with the job in the first place, but Mary has done a lot for Pastor Jeff. Okay, she helped him through his marriage. Remember in season 2, episode 21, okay? Without Mary, I mean, I don't even know what would have even happened. Okay, seriously, okay? Mary's been such a big help to Pastor Jeff and all that, and really tried to support him. And now Pastor Jeff is just kind of turning his back on Mary. It just kind of feels weird, okay? Seriously. It was a big change for me. And I was not expecting that, and I feel like it was right for George to just walk out, okay? They're a community, okay? And Pastor Jeff just kicked them out. But of course, Pastor Rob, being the simp that he is, he doesn't he doesn't kick. He doesn't like the idea. So yeah, that was pretty big. We'll talk about this definitely in another video. But yeah, for now I'm just going to say that it was pretty surprising. So yeah, Mary and George are both pissed. And yeah, I just actually like that George didn't want to punish Missy for just standing up for the family and doing the right thing. I mean, although she probably should have punched someone. I mean, it's nice, okay? I like how the different personalities come out in this way. Okay, it was really nice, okay? And then George actually just kind of overreacted then when he saw what was going on the TV. Also, Pastor Rob comes over later in the episode, and yeah, things kind of go a little bit too far. I mean, I don't think it went as far as it did with... I don't think it went as far as it did with George and Brenda, but, still, it's... Missy actually kind of caught them in the act as well, which just kind of caught me off guard. Yeah, it was kind of weird, but the prayer was kind of nice, and Mary kind of felt really relaxed and all that. Pretty sus, Mary. Like, come the fuck on, you're married, so come on, you're a Christian, all that. Come on. But the part I'm confused about is when Missy comes home, right, and she just says that she just left school. So what went on with that? She didn't even give a reason. She said she didn't want to punch anyone, so she left. Does that mean she just ran away from school? I don't really understand what's going on. I don't know why this wasn't explored more or talked about more, but it was a bit weird. Also in this episode, Sheldon's having a pretty hard time with studying, of course, because everything that's going on at home. And I did it kind of like before Sheldon started getting annoyed at Mary in the car, that she was kind of, acting normal. Even though she's lost her job recently and is kind of having a tough time, she still is acting normal in front of her kids, which is always nice. I enjoyed that, okay? But then, she kind of got a little bit snappy back at him when he was like, everyone's annoying me, oh my god. Now, for some reason, Sheldon goes to President Hagemeyer to fix the situation at home. Why? What can she do, Sheldon? What are you expecting here? Miracles out of this lady? And the thing that said President Hagemeyer does next really does not help things. Okay, so great job, Sheldon. So back at the house, George comes home after a long day of work, and and Mary's like, "Oh, yeah, Pastor Rob popped by, blah, 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 blah." And they have another argument because every episode they have an argument these days. Can they go one episode without having one? No, of course not. Are you stupid? And right after George storms out of the door because I don't know I don't really know where he's gonna go. Yes, President Hagemeyer calls and she tells Mary that they've invested a lot of time and money into Sheldon and shit like that, shit. And yeah, then Mary absolutely loses it. Seriously, there was a pretty big moment. Okay, like seriously, when I first saw this clip, I was like pretty amazed that they actually did this. Okay, just the way Mary's delivering all these lines. Okay, like you can just see that she's kind of falling apart. The family is falling apart. This is the true end of season, and to be honest, this could be pretty suitable for like a season finale. To be honest, like I really felt it when she said she could like drive and drive until she ran out of road and just start a new life. Okay, was she literally thinking about doing that? Of course, she's not going to do that. She's not going to abandon her family, but it's just crazy. Then Missy hears all of this and hugs Mary and stuff, which again, Missy's like the only one who's like actually being supportive to everybody. Literally everybody, but whatever. I did like later on the dinner scene how Missy was also vouching for Mary as well, so it's always nice. It's always nice. Okay, so yeah, the other thing that's going on in this episode is the Mandy and Mima plot, which I thought was pretty fun. As I said, when I was talking about season 5, episode 19, I think Mandy and Mima's bond is great. Yeah, though I'm actually pretty excited to see Mandy's parents. I thought they actually appeared in this episode because there was like another couple at the baby doctor, and I thought they were Mandy's parents. I didn't see that the woman was pregnant. That obviously would have given it away. I also love just hearing Mima talk about the whole pregnancy situation that went on with Mary and George back then. It's nice to see her side of things and stuff like that. A whole conversation that Mima and Mandy had was pretty special. So Mima accompanies Mandy to the baby doctor and doesn't tell Georgie because Georgie's a simp. I mean, Georgie's an idiot. I mean, Georgie's a bitch. Yeah, they're all true, actually. But Georgie ends up following them there anyway. He probably checked loads of other places first because Georgie's an idiot. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, I did kind of like how Mandy did kind of look like she kind of had feelings for him again. Kind of, was hinting at stuff that's going to happen in season 6. I cannot wait. But at the time I'm recording this, I've only seen season 6, episode 1, so I haven't seen Georgie and Mandy interact this season, so I'm really excited for that to eventually happen. I do like the conversation that Georgie was having with the other couple that was there that I thought that was Mandy's parents, as I said earlier. I mean, that was kind of fun. I wish we actually went in there. We actually saw in the baby doctor and what the baby doctor said. But young Sheldon has a track record of building up stuff and then just not doing anything with it. Whatever. Overall, this was a great episode. I do rather a lot of the other stuff that's happening over this, but this was a great addition to the episode as well. Okay, it was nice to see Mima and Mandy's interaction here, and this is a great episode that furthers the plot and it could have been the season finale. But yeah, let's go on to the season finale. Finally! Okay, so the final episode of the season, 2 hours in the making. I'm pretty sure it's definitely over 2 hours long at this point. God damn it! I'm sorry again for how long this video is taking, but let's just get on with it. First part we're going to be covering for the final episode is Sheldon's spot. Yeah. The finale of the whole season, we're just covering a little spot on Sheldon's cheek. I first of all have to just say that I hate the Penn and Teller thing that was going on. I think that's what the names are called. I did not. I just kind of found them really annoying. Okay, I hate when they kept showing up. Okay, they're definitely the worst part about the episode. They were just kind of annoying, in my opinion. Okay, they weren't terrible. I mean, I did like the Easter egg that I heard everywhere about. Yeah, Teller, I think is that the name of the actor or the name of the character? I actually don't even know. Same actor that plays Amy's father in the Big Bang Theory season 11 and 12, so that's kind of cool. I also like the dream sequence where Sheldon basically played all of his family and all that, and it was just so funny. I did hear like behind the scenes that they have to filmed the scene with the original actors, all the original actors like like Zoe Perry and Annie Potts and all that, just to get their mannerisms right and all that, because like it feels like Sheldon is perfectly portraying how the characters would speak. It kind of feels natural, and it just looks so stupid. It's really weird when you just see Sheldon come out of his room and then you see him with his father's face and all that's weird. He didn't portray Missy, probably because she's also a child, so he's trying to, it doesn't really work with the story, I guess. In this episode, Sheldon is scared about his childhood ending and stuff. And when I was like 12, Sheldon's 12 at this time. At this point, I wasn't really worried about my childhood ending. I guess because yeah, I mean, Sheldon is in a different situation, but usually people's childhood, doesn't just abruptly end. It kind of slowly ends, after a period of time. So you never really just get freaked out like, oh my god, my childhood has just ended. Oh, holy fuck. There's usually more of a build up to that. But I guess Sheldon didn't really get that because everything has kind of changed recently. His parents' marriage is falling apart, and Georgie has gotten Mandy pregnant. So yeah, things have changed recently. So I mean, Sheldon's gonna have to work at the coal mine. And Sheldon and Missy's interactions in this episode were absolutely great. Okay, and I feel like this end of the season is telling us that Sheldon and Missy are going to be interacting a lot in these next few seasons. Okay, because they're kind of like the youngest of the Coopers, the ones that are kind of grouped together every now and then to just talk about what crap the others are getting up to. Did see a promo from the second episode of season 6. About Sheldon and Missy trying to find jobs, so that's actually kind of cool. Also, this kind of explains why Sheldon feels so comfortable around Penny, okay? People have been saying that online as well. It's just true, okay? The reason why Sheldon feels so comfortable around Penny is because of this, okay? Penny reminds Sheldon of his sister, okay? And it just kind of feels nice, okay? It was a nice feeling. It was such a nice interaction between them. And the final scene with Sheldon getting out his like Flash t-shirt was also great. Okay, that was a nice way to end off the season. It was great, man. I'm actually pretty excited for the next season. But though just to say, I'm just going to say that he's not going to be wearing this thing all the time. Okay, it's just for like when he's stressed out or something like that. Okay, yeah, but it's really really cool to see Ian Armitage in that suit, that t-shirt. It was absolutely awesome. Great fan service. Also, in this episode, George kind of makes a stupid decision. Basically, the school offered the head coach job to Wayne, and George isn't just going to wait around until he gets fired, so he quits, which is kind of stupid. I really don't feel like George should have done that. Okay, yes, he likes to leave on his own terms. He likes to keep his head up high. Okay, that's the thing of his character. But this was definitely not the right call to make, okay? George, you're struggling right here, okay? Come on. Mary doesn't have a job anymore, okay? And you're gonna eventually get fired, you know that. But why not keep the job and get the money while you still can? This was a big, stupid decision. Yeah, okay, there's no real way defending George here. I mean, okay, yeah, he wants to leave in his own terms again, yeah, but he did make a pretty stupid decision. Also, this is probably the final time we will ever see the high school in the show. I mean, maybe not, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad how they kind of just slowly faded out the high school, and in the past few seasons we've started seeing it less and less, and it's just kind of sad that, neither Sheldon, Georgie, or George go there to like being a student or a teacher there anymore. So yeah, we're kind of done with that place. Kind of sad to see, but then the rest of the episode is basically Mary and George trying to find jobs, and yeah, no. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Mary gets a job at Davidson's, I guess, at the grocery store, but George is like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not bagging groceries." Dr. George still worked there. I mean, that would be cool for them being them interacting. Yeah, I mean, of course, Mary and George have to fight. You can't have an episode with them interacting without them fighting. Now, it's just a rule, okay? I mean, the one scene they had in season 6, episode 1 was them kind of fighting a bit. So yeah. There was also just just a few scenes of George just sitting around the house in his dressing gown, acting like a big bitch. And in my opinion, I thought this really did tease that, George was kind of going to start acting a bit more like his season 6 counterpart. I was pretty excited for that. But then I did actually see a Reddit post that kind of changed my mind about this. Previously, I thought that it was okay with that George was acting like this at the beginning of the show, but eventually did have to kind of act like an old drunk or something like that. But the Reddit post basically just said that, you know what? I think it's just a good Reddit post. I'm gonna save it for another video. It was great. Okay, I'm just gonna say that it's pretty good. I don't really believe that way anymore, and I don't. But if they do make George a big old mean drunk, I'm not gonna be mad at the showrunners. Also, in this episode, Mary goes to Brenda to get a job, which I'm actually really excited for. In the new season, that Mary and Brenda are actually going to be working together. I think it's a great opportunity for an episode, okay? Brenda and Mary working together, okay? Because, of course, they kind of used to be, like, good friends in season 4, but after the whole Brenda and George thing, I guess Brenda's been trying to keep away from Mary, but now she can't, that they're working together. Okay, so that's great. I did actually like the season promo of one of the sneak peeks from season 6 episode 2 where Mary did actually meet Pastor Rob in the bowling alley, and yeah, it looked like she was having a conversation with Brenda right before that, so great. And that leads into this scene where George comes home from work and Mary breaks the news to him that she's working with Brenda now. So George tries to act happy, but he's just like, holy fucking shit, not again. Then he gets a call from Meemaw about something, who knows, let's talk about that now. So basically, Georgie wants to go down to the Mexico border to get some cigarettes, because, Meemaw put that thought on his brain by telling him about what she used to be doing, to go down to the Mexico border. He was going to go down there with one of his customers, Wade, who's a fucking idiot. But Wade's stupidness persuades me not to go with Georgie. What am I talking about? Okay, so that was kind of cool. Whatever. I don't really have as much to say about this plot as the other ones. Okay, the scene that really stands out to me in this episode was the one where actually in the car and driving. Now, in the plot description, I think they said that they were going to go on like a. I feel like I keep thinking of road trip. I just can't think about why they would use that word, road trip. It was just one car scene. Okay, I like this conversation between Georgie and Meemaw, and it also does kind of feel like the one that Georgie had with George in the very next episode, the season 6 premiere. Okay, basically, George's life is kind of going to hell right now, and yeah. But I mean, when his kids get older, I guess it will be all right. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit rude of me to be singing Ring of Fire when Georgie is literally falling into a ring of fire. But then they get arrested and they need George to come and pick them up. So yeah, that's where the episode ends off. Overall, a pretty good episode. Okay, I thought all 3 plots were pretty solid. Okay, can't really pick a favorite one. Okay, because they're all great and they all do further along the plots of all the characters. Okay, and it really did hype me up for season 6, to be honest, even though they did actually edit enough on a cliffhanger. Okay. Now, while this is a good season finale, it was a little bit tame. Like, it didn't really have much drama compared to the other episodes from the season, but I thought it was good. I think we did a little bit of a break and kind of a calm season finale. Okay, it didn't need to be big and have loads of drama. Okay, I was fine with this episode. I thought it was actually pretty good. Okay, and I can't believe I'm done. Oh my god. We're done. I cannot believe it. that was it, guys. This season is finished. Now I plan to kind of run down, actually talk a little bit more at the end of this video about maybe the characters and how they were affected this season, what I hope to see from them in the next season. But I feel like I can make my own video out of that and just maybe not stretch this video out any longer. Okay, I'm just going to quickly talk about the season. It was pretty good. Now, unfortunately, it does suffer from a good few things around the middle of the season. I think the end of the season really did bring it up, okay? It affected this show a lot, and yeah, it's pretty important. But I did do like a good bit amount of complaining in this video, okay? This season definitely was a downgrade from the previous ones in a lot of areas. Like some of the characters just weren't themselves, but they were just not really as good as the first before. Like before the end of the season, I wasn't really liking Misty that much. You know, she just didn't feel like she used to. Okay, I mean, she kind of lost the part of that character that made me like her so much. But I feel like now she's kind of grown a little bit of maturity, which is kind of weird considering Georgie said she was a dumb teenager in Big Bang Theory. But yeah, okay. Mary didn't really feel that great either at times, especially in season 5, episode 14. I really hated her in that episode. Okay, and Mima and Georgie sometimes didn't feel that great either. Like Mima did feel a little bit overly too mean. Okay, not when like Georgie was dating Mandy or stuff. No, I feel like she was like perfect. I think she was mean for a reason there. It's just when Georgie kind of gave Mima that great business idea, and Mima still kind of acted like a bitch to Georgie. Okay, and Sheldon, he barely even feels like the main character anymore. Yeah, but I do think George, he's got a big glow up, okay? I thought they actually did a pretty good job of making him sympathetic in this whole story with Brenda, okay? And that was great, and yeah, and even when they dropped that storyline, okay, I still felt like George was a good character. Lance Berber does a perfect portrayal of him, okay? And overall, this season does kind of feel like a different tone as the other ones, okay? It doesn't kind of feel as light-hearted, okay? It's kind of more deep, it kind of has more things going on in it and stuff. And I'm just kind of interested in seeing where the show will go from here, okay? And in a way, I do kind of feel like the show is not going to go on forever. It's going to end probably at season 7, maybe. I don't know, though. It could end, it could go on until like season 12 or something. I don't know. I'm presuming not, though. Whatever, that's it for me talking about Young Sheldon now. Because I have not uploaded on this channel for about 3 weeks, I do kind of want to talk a little bit about this channel as a whole for a minute. Okay, and I feel that kind of sounds like it's bad news. I do want to apologize for not uploading. Okay, in my last video actually I said I was gonna get back to normal uploads, but no. I just really wanted to focus on this video because I knew it was going to take me such a long time, but I didn't want it to come out in the middle of season 6. I just really wanted to get it finished as soon as possible. But now I'm going to take a little bit of a break from like big Alpha Shelf projects, and I'm going to start maybe spreading them out a lot. Because the problem I had was because like I got burnt out a lot with making all these retrospectives. It was really hard work putting them out like every few weeks, and yeah, I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. Gonna be taking a break from retrospectives at least for like another maybe month or so. Maybe then I might put out another one. I don't know. I think I'm gonna start maybe I might do like a Clone Wars season 1 retrospective because I do want to talk about the Clone Wars. Also Mandalorian, I'll do a retrospective on the first few seasons of Mandalorian. Okay, since Mandalorian season 3 coming out that this year, cause I want to kind of build up that, and it'll be a lot easier to do 2 retrospectives to build up the new season instead of like 4 episodes to build up the new seasons of Young Sheldon, and I also had to do Big Bang retrospectives and that. And I actually did start working on a Big Bang Theory season 7 retrospective because I was actually going to have that come out before the season 5 one. But I realized I didn't really have enough time, okay, and the reason why I actually did that is because I just didn't want to have like more Young Sheldon retrospectives than Big Bang retrospectives, okay? And I just wanted to kind of even them out a little bit. So yeah, but I'll continue the Big Bang Theory season 7 retrospective on and off. I guess it might be out this Christmas. I hope, hopefully. And I don't know if I'm gonna be uploading like 4 times a week on this channel because I do want this channel to be like really high effort content, okay? And I'm not even toning it down with the ranking videos as well because I want this to be like good quality content here on the channel, okay? Whatever. Yeah, I don't really know. I was like, okay, I don't really know how often I'm going to be uploading. So yeah, maybe a couple of times a week for now. Yeah, it's been a while. Okay, will I get back into all my Lego Star Wars videos? I'm not too sure. Okay, I was kind of gonna start like doing these getting all the Kyber brick for like each planet and stuff and how to get those, but I don't even know if we're gonna do that anymore. I will finish ranking up the Lego Star Wars Discovery Saga characters, so okay, that's still a plan. But I can't tell you when I'm gonna go get back on that weekly ranking video train, okay? Because I don't know when this video is gonna come out, so I don't know. Whatever, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. I'm actually kind of excited to see how long this video is gonna end up being. I'm gonna like test that out right away when I stop this recording. I'm gonna see how long it is, but definitely over 3 hours. Not over 3 hours. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Definitely over 2.5 hours, but it could be over 3 hours. Oh god. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Okay, season 6 retrospective. I'll start working on that. Well, I mean, right after season 6 ends in another year's time. I won't have that out as late as this. Okay, okay. As soon as season 6 ends, I will start working on that, just because I want to make the retrospective, knowing what happens throughout the entire season. Let's say it takes me a month to make. They'll come out at the end of June, so that'll be great. Whatever, I'm actually pretty excited to get this video off of my back, because it's literally been taunting me for the past few weeks. It's literally been taunting me. I'm just like, oh god, I have to get this video done. It's gonna take me so long to make. It's great to get something like that off your back. So whatever, I'm just delaying this video on and on again. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.